This week on Nintendomain, we're going to do some E3 predictions, and we have an interview with Kate Fineberg from Esper Dreams.
And I'm going to kick Graham's ass.
I saw a celebrity from the Outworld.
Nintendomain, episode 121. 121. We were up there. That's the number of something that I can't think of to reference at this time. We are your hosts. I'm Trey, already tired of fake E3 leaks, Johnson.
I'm Jereme. Jackie Chan. Hell yeah. Mikowski.
Yep.
And I'm John. Knitter.
And we're here to bring you the latest Nintendo news and all the other fun stuff about Nintendo and our own experiences and whatnot. Let's start off how we normally do. Talk about what we've been doing, what we've been playing, what we've been buying for this week. I know, John was out of town last week and Disney, so.
I was at Disney World.
How was your Disney vacation?
That was pretty fun. We did lots of cool stuff. I went to the Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and to the Animal Kingdom, which was all really cool. The animal one's my favorite one.
Yeah. Are they like animatronic animals or people in animal suits? Or?
No, it's actually kind of a real zoo. They have real animals, and you can actually go out on a safari, ride in the truck, and see the real animals. I saw a giraffe walk right up to our car. I saw gorillas.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's really fun.
Weird.
Yeah, that's what I did. There was some Nintendo stuff there. I stopped by at Epcot. I went to the Japan area, and they had a store. Inside the store, they had Nintendo stuff. They had a shelf with plush toys. They had some Nintendo backpacks. They had this really cool NES backpack. There was a Piranha Plant backpack. Yeah, and it was just kind of cool to see Nintendo stuff at Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
You sent us a picture of that Piranha Plant backpack, and I wanted that shit.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It was $60 though, and it was a pretty small backpack.
I think I said that looks sick, and you said it's $60.
Yeah.
It was pretty good fun. I was like, oh god, that's a lot of money for a backpack. I think I paid like $18 for the one I have now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was really small too. You might hold like 2 books in there.
Maybe like 2 diapers.
It's like a kid's backpack then, right? It's not like a adult backpack.
It's a
fashion
like
pack. A kid's backpack. Fashion backpack. There you
go. Oh well, looks cool though.
Yeah, I could keep like a couple of candy bars in there.
Mm-hmm. Did anybody point at you there? Did anybody do the 2 points or the 3 points at you in Disneyland? Did the people who work there like tell you to calm down, stop fighting with your family, and all that?
No.
They do that if you start fights. I said that last time we recorded before you went.
The secret Disney police.
If you start if you start having a fight with anybody, they'll come out and point at you and be like, they'll say like, "What's the problem? Like, what is there anything I can do to help your vacation?" Or whatever. They try to like calm down whatever's happening because they don't want anything bad to ever happen on the park. So they have people out there for that.
Well, sort of along those lines. My nephew. He's 5. He had a bucket of popcorn. He dropped it. And within 3 minutes of him dropping the popcorn, 2 people came up.
Yeah.
2 park employees came up and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Can I get you another one?" And one of them actually took the bucket and went all the way, walked 10 minutes away to get to the nearest popcorn stand and refilled the bucket and brought it back to us.
Yeah.
So, they are on it. Their customer service is impeccable.
Man.
Well, they don't
except for bringing you some cold ass popcorn because it took 10 minutes to walk it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just threw it right in her face.
Well, they
said, "Bitch, please."
They don't want any of the kids crying, so they're
I said extra butter.
Put the butter in the middle. Go back.
No, that's great though. You should be treated like royalty there because you pay enough royalty. Right?
Yeah.
And they don't want anybody to freak out because then it'll look like they're not having a good time at the park. Did you go on Star Tours or anything like that? I heard it's different now.
Yeah, I went on Star Tours. Star Tours has been updated.
Yeah, now Finn
they updated that one a couple years ago.
Isn't Finn in it now?
No.
I heard he was in it
not
now.
In it. I think there might be different versions of it. I don't know, but
okay.
Finn's not in it. No. It's one of those ones where you're sitting with the whole group and the theater kind of moves and makes you feel like you're on a ship.
Yeah.
C-3PO's in it. There's a C-3PO robot sitting in front of the screen kind of guiding you along the way.
Yeah, that's how the old one was.
Yeah, but the visuals are improved. You know, it's modern 3D.
Yeah. I heard somewhere, maybe it's the California one, maybe it's Disneyland, but I heard that, like, you go to Crate, wherever they were in Last Jedi, and, like, Finn's there and he talks to you. Like, that's part of it.
Yeah, no, I
like,
didn't
he's
see
outside of the ship. That might be
They did do a lot of... the Star Wars presence is much expanded upon since the last time I was there.
Sure.
First of all, they're building a Star Wars hotel.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't open yet, but you can stay there for, like, 3 days, and there's a story line to it. You're not just staying at a hotel, but you're like part of a mission.
Can you can you kill a family member on that mission?
Can you kill the what?
Can you kill a family member on that mission? That seems to be what happens in most Star Wars movies. I mean, if they want to stick with the theme of the story, you have to. You need to either like stab your father, or like cut somebody's hand off,
sister,
or something.
yeah.
You know, that's what I think it really should be.
Weird stuff happening at the Star Wars hotel.
Yeah, it's like so. Who do you want to get killed this time? You know, we'll make sure we'll set up one of those bridges that you can stand on, you know, you make sure and kill your family member. It'd be great. Just like any of the other Star Wars movies. It always has to be a family conflict, so you got to create that. I think that would be the story there, you know.
Yeah, I'm going to need someone to give me a hand.
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought you were
they
saying...
had a Star Wars parade out in the streets, so there was, like, stormtroopers marching along. My little niece, who was 3, you know, whenever she met any of the characters, she was, like, very brave and like, really liked meeting the characters. Her thing was she would give them each a kiss, and she met the stormtrooper, and she went to go give the stormtrooper a kiss, and the stormtrooper stayed in character and said negative.
A line
like
that
put his hand up to her and everything. Like nope.
He made sure and said a line that wasn't used in any of the movies by a stormtrooper. Negative.
Yeah. But we got to meet BB-8. They had a BB-8 there. They had Chewbacca. The Chewbacca costume was really cool. And he would like open his mouth and make the noise and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun.
Cool.
Did anyone get shot by like a phaser?
No one got shot by phaser. That comes with the Star Wars hotel package.
Yeah.
You know,
that's where the real
you have to pay
fun
more
is.
for your family to die.
Yeah. I hope they have a cool backdrop for like the stab your father area. So it's going to be really fun. I can't wait. Can't wait to get to that bridge. Stab a family member.
Breakfast.
Yeah. you can eat with the characters, but also stab one of your family members with breakfast and all that stuff. Cool.
I want to go to Disney someday. I know I'm like, in my mid-30s now, but
you never.
I didn't get a chance to go when I was a kid. Yeah,
we're
still fun.
No, I was just gonna say we were looking into it because Jess and I we're gonna go to Japan on our honeymoon next year. So
nice.
So we were looking into Tokyo Disney, and it's only like $60 a day there. So
that's cheap.
We were gonna go for a day. Probably it's really easy to get to. Apparently, you can like take a train there. But I heard Tokyo Disney's awesome because it's like separate from the other Disneylands, so you can actually like drink and less people point at you. I guess. I don't know. But yeah, we thought about going there, so I might do that.
That'd be fun.
I know you're going to Japan. That's awesome, man.
I think I told you that was our plan, our honeymoon plan.
Very cool. I know you're planning the Nintendo trip. Is that right?
What, the Nintendo building?
Are you going to go see the Nintendo building?
Oh, sure, of course. I mean, we have to. We're there. And we were planning on going
to heaven, man.
We were planning on going there for like 2 or 3 weeks, so we'll make sure to do a lot of shit.
Nice.
Yeah, that was the plan. So, but yeah, I want to check out Tokyo Disney over there. See how that is. Maybe they have some Nintendo stuff there. But
will the theme park, will the Nintendo World theme park be open?
I thought they were doing
by then.
I thought it was like 2020.
It's 2020.
2020. Oh, okay, yeah.
That's when I'm wanting to go.
We'd have to like wait.
Japan.
We have to wait a year. Maybe we can go. Maybe we can go again.
I mean, I'd love to go to Japan anytime, but that's when I'm hoping to get there in 2020.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe study some basic Japanese before. I don't know.
Well, speaking of stuff that I got this week that has to do with Japan, I got some birthday presents. I'm just gonna before I forget about it. I got 2 books about Japan from Jess for my birthday, and I also got this thing, this Nintendo trophy,
original vintage Nintendo trophy.
I'm gonna open it on the show right here. So I just want to show it before I forget about it. I don't know if anybody ever saw these, but they were these trophies that you got from the 80s. I had one of them. We actually showed it on our 50th episode.
We did
when we did our
Mario one.
When we did our Nintendo stuff. We showed the Mario one that I got when I was a kid. with the broken, with the fireball broken off of it and all that. But this came in a box and everything. This is a Legend of Zelda one.
Whoa.
There's Link.
Very cool.
Gibdo, what do you call them?
Yeah, it's a Link and a Gibdo.
Gibdo,
however you pronounce it. I call it a Gibdo.
The Gibdo is huge.
Yeah.
Link is very small.
He's very big, yeah. But Link has a sword in the wrong hand, of course, but that's fine. But yeah, it's got a little on the bottom here. It's got a little thing that says your name, and you can put your high score on there and all that.
Wow,
super rad though. I was real. I mentioned, and I don't know if you can tell, but on the back it says 1988. The copyright. It's probably hard to tell. Probably hard to read through webcam, but
yeah, we don't.
Harder to read on the podcast.
Yeah, well, I mean, in case Jeremy wanted to use part of this for the intro, is why I was showing it. But yeah, there it is. It's super cool. It's my. It's a super cool birthday gift.
That is, man.
That's really
Zelda
cool.
Trophy. I guess
That's
I could have
from Jess,
said,
huh?
Yeah.
Good work, Jess.
What I'll do is I'll flip the image on the horizontal axis so that he's holding it in his left hand.
Yeah, right. I don't know where she got it or how much she got it from, but on the bottom of the box it says $196 from Toys R Us. I'm pretty sure she didn't get it for that, but it's it's like $2. Has a $2 price tag on it, so that's pretty cool. I'm sure this was in a bargain bin at one point at Toys R Us.
It's in your bargain hand.
Yeah, it's super cool though. I like it a lot. These trophies are awesome. Like the ones she said it was the best looking one out of the Zelda ones, so she went for the Gibdo, which he does look huge. He's like twice the size of Link, so Link looks like he should be more scared than he actually is. This picture back here of him is way more scared than this one. His face is way
He's
more
basically
like
just using his shield to block the dude's penis.
Yep. Well, he's probably going to try to hump him like the Redeads, in Ocarina of Time. Even though the mummy mask in Majora's Mask is called the Gibdo mask, so they did carry it on to that game. So, yeah, that's the coolest. That was the coolest thing that I got physically for the week. But did you want to say anything else about Japan? Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. I just remembered that I had those Japanese books. Or Disney World, I mean, not Japan.
No, I'm all set on Disney World. As far as, I guess, video game stuff.
What did you play on your trip?
Sorry?
Did you play anything on the Switch while you were there? You took it with you, right? I'm sure.
Yeah, I can talk about that. So I took it with me, and I played with my nieces and my nephew. And they all had a good time. We played Mario Kart, which I'm getting a little back into. And the other one that they really enjoyed was Mom Hid My Game. They loved that game. Mm-hmm. And it was specifically the stage with the elephant. And you have to get the DS out of the elephant by making it poop.
By feeding it? Yeah.
So, yeah, they loved that. They went nuts. Mm-hmm. They were laughing for like 2 minutes straight.
Yeah. You'd be like, you can get this game for $5. Mm-hmm. And if you had a Switch. So if you bought a Switch, you'd spend $310 on this game pretty much.
On this game. There you go.
That you'll be done within an hour. Yay. But I'm sure they get other better games also.
They'd get other stuff, yeah. I might have convinced my sister to let them get one. So yeah, we'll see.
It's probably hard. I mean, it's hard to get something like that for kids. Like Nintendo said that even. That's why they're keeping the 3DS around because, it's not really, the Switch is not really a kid's system because it's kind of expensive and easy to break. Right. If you're not.
If they're fighting over it, like they can just take it out and it'll easily break. Yeah.
And they didn't make
I don't see why that game couldn't be on the 3DS.
Mom Hid My Game?
Yeah.
It could. There's no reason it couldn't. I mean, it's a cell phone game, so it could be on anything.
It could be on a cell phone.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I thought it was a Japanese cell phone game. That's where it came from. I mean, it seems like because you only use like one button, you don't really. I mean, you just tap on things on the screen. You don't even really need like a control pad or anything.
It's a pretty endearing game, though. It's like one of the games I remember the most vividly from the past year, I would say. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it hit me like a WarioWare game, man. It's the closest thing we've had.
Yeah, no, it is. It definitely had a lot of feeling. It felt like WarioWare for sure.
I feel like they should put out another one. I'll make that one my A3 predictions. They're gonna make another Mom Hid My Game.
Oh, well, we're not there yet, but
I'm just throwing it in there.
Yeah, that would be
Jackie Chan. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, why not? They might. Who knows? I got a couple things. Are you done? You didn't get anything new, right?
No, I got nothing new.
Oh, okay.
Oh, John.
Oh, I was going to do just a couple more games that I got, unless you want to go before.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I got from our last episode, I did order that Bible game from eBay for $5, no shipping. So it's a Game Boy Advance Bible Adventures. I haven't played it yet, actually. I was going to play it last night, but I played a better Game Boy Advance game instead, which will be a part of our news. We'll talk about that. But I ended up getting, I got some digital stuff. I got Immortal Redneck, bought that game for Switch, for my new Switch Thursday game. And I also got Garage. I was playing that game earlier. It's a super moody, top-down, it's like a top-down survival horror almost. It's got some pretty scary stuff in it and some really weird parts that you don't expect. So it actually was a lot better than I thought it would be. It's sort of, I know we said before, it sort of looks like Hotline Miami, and it kind of feels a little bit like it, I guess, because of the bizarreness of it, But
you said it kind of breaks the fourth wall a little bit from time to time.
It does. It kind of messes with you. Like, it's supposed to be like, there's a part where you like take pills. I mean, this is early, so it's not that much of a spoiler. But you take pills, and all of a sudden you can see through walls and stuff, and everything turns like super psychedelic and neon and all that. And you talk to a bunch of moles that live in the walls, and so it's not. It does kind of. It's fine with like bending reality and all that. And all of the credits are actually in the game, like on the floor, like as you go through the first level. So I thought that was really cool. So like everybody's names are like on the actual floor of the game, like as you're going through the game. So it was like a really cool, like interactive opening credits thing. And where
is cool.
And you'll find like pieces of paper on the ground that like you pick it up and it says like directed by whoever, like stuff like that. So the credits like go through the whole first chapter, and the whole like I think like the first 3 chapters you don't even get a gun. Like you don't get a gun till like, or maybe like chapter 2, but they don't give you a gun like right offhand. But I've gotten to the point where you got it, where they give you a lot of ammo and you shoot a lot of stuff, but then you like lose your gun and you got to get it, and there's stuff without it. So there's a lot of variety to it. It actually impressed me a lot more than I thought it would, and it's only $15. And I probably put like 10 hours into it so far, and I don't know how much I have left, but it's it's a good one for that. If you want to see a freaky game, and it has some scary parts to it.
That was 15? Yeah,
it was 15. I have 2 videos on YouTube of it if you want to see it.
So you've gotten the $1 an hour price out of it. That's kind of my standard is $1 an hour.
Yeah, so that means that Mom Hid My Game is a failure.
What was that, 5?
Yeah, you only got $1. Yeah. You only got $1 worth out of it.
You're right. Maybe like $1.12.
And I guess if you play it again with your nieces and nephews like John did, then you have like $2 out of it.
I've probably played that game for at least 4 hours.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't bother me. Like, I don't need the hour per $1. I mean, that's my highest watched video on YouTube. So that's what Mom Hid My Game did for me for $5. Gave me like 4,000 views. So yep. I'm happy for it for that. Like I was saying, if you want to see the elephant poop, YouTube/Fingmater, you can find it there. YouTube.com. And I also got a couple new pinball games, because like Jess has been playing a lot of Bob's Burgers pinball on the Super FX, or what is it? Whatever it is, the one that has
Pinball FX.
Pinball FX, yeah. The one that has like the Universal Studios one, and I didn't get that one, but the one that had like the Doom and the Fallout and Skyrim. I already had those, but I got the Alien one, the one that comes with Aliens, Alien vs Predator, and I forget what the third one is on there. Oh yeah, Alien Isolation. There's one like based on the game also. And I got the Portal one and the Walking Dead one, but I haven't played either of those. I've only played
the Portal one. Portal one's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
How do y'all play them? Do you play them in vertical mode?
No.
Vertical only.
No, we play them on the TV, because you can play 2-player hot seat play is what it's called.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, we play 2-player on the TV. But we played Aliens, and I played the AVP game. I thought that one was pretty cool, but I haven't tried any of the other ones yet. But yeah, I decided to pick up a couple more tables and get some other shit, because I got a couple checks. So that's my extra money.
There was a free pinball game that came out again this week, right? Was it Gottlieb Pinball?
Oh, I thought that was there was a pinball game that was on there. I thought that was the same as the other one, as the Stern one, but I guess not. It's a different one.
I think so. Yeah, I didn't download it just because I'm like, I've already got the Pinball FX. That's good enough for me. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's the third one now.
I think those have real pinball machines in it. One of them, I don't know if it's out for Switch, but for PlayStation 3, there's one where you can get like Medieval Madness, which is like my favorite pinball game. So if that's on there, I'll get it. Even though it's not quite the same as actually playing the game, but it is like probably one of the best pinball games ever made. So I'd say it's worth it for that if it's on there. But I haven't looked into it. I thought it was just like the Stern one, but yeah, I did see that on there. But that Immortal Redneck game that I got, that one's pretty cool. It's like $20. It's basically a roguelike first-person shooter where like you basically go into this pyramid, and all the rooms are completely randomly generated every time you go in, and you try to get to the end of the pyramid and fight and kill the boss on one life. Like if you die, like you get knocked out of the pyramid. You don't lose everything, but you're out of the level, and the level regenerates differently every time you go back into the pyramid. So the levels are constantly changing, like the arrangement of the rooms and all that. Even though later you do get items that you can use where you can keep it the same if you want to go back through it again, but you don't get gold or whatever. But you get gold from there, and you can use gold to like upgrade your health and like your bullet damage and all this stuff. And you also unlock different classes as you go, which have different level sets and stuff. So like as you go, you're like eventually like making yourself stronger and all that. And it's kind of a fun, like mindless, arcadey first-person shooter game, and I've been having a lot of fun with that too. It's probably like the most arcadey you can get in the first-person shooter land. It kind of looks like Serious Sam, but it's not like Serious Sam. I know I compared it to that before on GameCube, but it's different. Serious Sam is just like where you fight like wave after wave of guy, and they like throw you more and more people. This one is like where you go. They'll send you you'll get a certain amount of people per like room that you go to, and you have to kill them all to go to the next room. And you're trying to find like where the stairs are, the next floor, and then you'll find a boss at the very end. I haven't gotten to any of the bosses yet, so I'm not good at it, but it's still fun to play. It's a great like pick up and play like portable game. So I've been digging that and Garage. So that's what I've been playing. I think I got all of them. Well, except for me and Jeremy played Splatoon, of course, on Friday.
As we do.
Yeah. And Jeremy got to play with Jackie Chan, so he's pretty happy about that.
I did. I played with Jackie Chan. I was like, hell yeah.
So like whenever we like stream on my computer, there's like a mute button, where it'll play back the audio so you can hear it to make sure everything sounds fine. But since I have like Jeremy's audio like looping out and back into the computer, like if you switch that switch, if you like unmute it, it'll basically start a loop, and like everything will get louder and louder and louder like every second. So I turned it on like when Jeremy said Jackie Chan, hell yeah, and it just was like Jackie Chan, hell yeah, Jackie Chan, hell yeah. So it made like a loop of Jackie Chan, hell yeah, and that's where that middle name came from. In case you listeners are curious,
there was actually a character. Somebody's username was Jackie Chan, but it was Jacky.
Yeah,
Chan.
Yeah. That's how he spells his name. But yeah, that's where that come from. We played that, and you can find that on YouTube, of course. And we also played Castlevania Aria of Sorrow last night. That's 15-year anniversary on that one. So
yep,
probably the best. Well, probably my favorite of the Castlevania games. I think of the Game Boy Advance DS ones. I think that's my favorite.
I think so too, man.
It's really hard to compare. Like, yeah, it's definitely. I think it's. I would argue that it's hands down the best one.
I'd say it's probably better than Symphony of the Night.
I liked it better than Symphony of the Night, but I never played Symphony of the Night when it came out, so I have no nostalgia for it or whatever.
I think it's the best of the 2D Castlevanias.
I felt like it played.
Which is
really
the one
well.
On DS?
Dawn of Sorrow
with the badass chick. What's that one called?
Portrait of Ruin.
Is that the one?
Are you thinking Order of Ecclesia?
There's 3 of them.
Yeah, I think that's the one, Order of Ecclesia. Yeah.
I think that's the only one I didn't get, was Order of Ecclesia.
That one's gotten a lot of accolades, and I do have that game. I own it.
I heard it's
never
really
got
hard.
through it, but it's a little more complex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's... Because I got because I beat all of them. Oh, no, I didn't. I got Portrait of Ruin. I didn't beat Portrait of Ruin all the way. And then I didn't get Order of Ecclesia, so I never bought that one. But I beat all the ones before that. Well, not Circles of the Moon.
There's Dawn of Sorrow.
Yeah. So I guess I only beat
Ruin, then Order of Ecclesia.
I only beat 3. I did Harmony of Dissonance, Aria of Sorrow, and Dawn of Sorrow were the only ones I beat.
Yeah, I never beat Circle of the Moon.
Yeah, Circle of the Moon was just too dark and too random and all that stuff. But yeah, that's what that was. But yeah, we were playing that stuff.
Yeah.
So what did you get, Jeremy, for the week?
Once again, I didn't buy anything. I'm on 3 weeks in a row of not really buying anything. But
that's okay.
Times have been tight.
That's awful. That's terrible. 3 weeks.
Times have been tight, but I did. You know what? I did download a free game on the Switch.
Oh yeah, you did. You could totally get it for free, and you made a video about it on YouTube.
Hold on a second. I already forgot what it's called.
It's called Kitten Squad. I know what it is, and I don't even have it. Actually, I do have it, but I haven't played it.
Oh yeah, I forgot to download.
So anyway, the game's called Kitten Squad. It's made by PETA.
Yeah, I didn't know they were making games, but they are, I guess. I
genuinely thought maybe this would get taken down, so I downloaded it, played a little bit, did a little YouTube video. It's on youtube.com/Fingmater. You can find it there. I gave it a nice clickbait title because this game is clickbait, like to a T. PETA's attached a message to it, which is blah blah blah. Let's
donate.
Not, kill animals and make them suffer and yada yada. No, really, it's a good message, but the way they do it is not great. This game very obviously wants to be a kid's game. It's called Kitten Squad. You're a cute kitten, but it's like Happy Tree Friends in the sense that like shit gets real, and you're kind of like you're just a kitten doing some shooting, and then all the cutscenes are like realistic life about like the whales trapped in SeaWorld and shit. So I think it's called Sealand. So like the first mission I did, and I chose the mission specifically because I had seen someone complain about it on Reddit, on the Nintendo Switch subreddit, that they saw their kid playing this game, and it was you're trying to rescue an orca, and the orca gets captured. It's really sad and heart-wrenching the way it's described, and the imagery they use. Once she's trapped at Sealand, her best friend commits suicide by slamming his head repeatedly into the glass. And then she is involuntarily fertilized several times. So, they treat that like, they depict it like it's rape, which I guess in that context it is. So anyway, there's a lot of really heavy topics to have in a game called Kitten Squad, where you're a kitten, like running around shooting robots.
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
Yeah.
And it's free, so kids could just download it. They don't need their parents' permission. It's just free. So
I think everyone.
That's why
I think all those topics, obviously you can talk about those things in game, but the thing is to present it in such a way without giving any warning to the parents, I think is a little bit is pretty. Yeah, that's bad news. And I remember reading the description on the game, and it didn't say anything about like whale rape and suicide.
Yeah.
What's it rated? Do you know?
I don't even know if it's rated. I mean, it's probably rated teen. I would say, if I was just guessing, because it's got violence in it. But the violence is funny because they go out of their way to make it to where you're only attacking robots, but you're also like sabotaging plans for humans. So I haven't played too far into it, but if you watch the video, I'm like, I wonder if the final boss is you just kill a guy. It's like humans are the enemy, so like at the end you just like kill some random human. Like,
I hope there's a whole level
the
where you
enemy.
I hope there's a whole level where you just like get to kill all the people that work at Sealand and let all the whales out, or something. Yeah, I haven't gotten to play that yet, but yeah, it's like a weird it's like a 2-stick shooter, but it's PETA.
It's kind of like Binding of Isaac if I was going to compare it, to a way the game works. And there's a bunch of random power-ups. It doesn't really seem like the game had too much thought put into it, other than let's get the propaganda across, of course. But
yeah,
it's like you shoot a bunch, and then like all of a sudden the level's over. Then you shoot a bunch more, and you keep picking up random drops that change your weapon. But it's not like you're actually strategically upgrading your weapon or anything. You just have to avoid picking the wrong power up if you don't want to like switch to that gun. So it's really like cheap in that regard, and it's a shitty game.
Yeah, why don't you play it?
I'm just gonna be frank, but I can't complain too much about it because it's free.
Yeah,
and also, once again in that video, I say, yeah, sure. If I'm just approaching this as me personally as the player, I can't be upset about the message either because it's a free game. So that's their vehicle for the message. It's dumb. I don't like how deceptive and underhanded they are with marketing it to kids. But as far as I'm concerned, it's just a free game that's bad.
Yeah. Does it ever cut to a page that's like, hey, do you want to donate to PETA right now? Push A here, and it'll automatically take $5 out of your eShop account.
I know. Maybe I didn't play long.
That would be funny. I was gonna say that would be like the really bad thing where it's free, but then all of a sudden you hit a paywall where it's like you got to donate or you can't play anymore.
Yeah. Well, I thought for sure there was going to be in-app purchases, but I didn't see anything of the like.
Does it say outright that it's made by PETA, or is that hidden somewhere?
Yeah, no, it says it at the beginning.
It's pretty open. Like, it's not. I think it might be in the thumbnail, but you don't see it until like the splash screen. And you just see PETA down in the bottom right.
Yeah, no, it shows it when it's loading, and I haven't played the game. I just watched Jeremy's video. But from what I saw of you playing it, it seemed kind of annoying. Where you kill everybody in one room, and then you leave and then you come back and everybody's back. You got to kill them all again.
Oh, right. If you accidentally go through the wrong door, you have to fight the previous room again.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to go back to the room you were just in and then fight that room again.
Yeah.
The lesson is that if you kill an animal, you just walk out the room and come back and everything's okay.
Yep.
Well, I did rescue the orca, so I mean, I at least got something accomplished in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But all I did was just shoot a bunch of glass with my gun until it could escape.
So yeah, it's a good one.
There was no boss or anything. I was hoping there'd be a boss, like I'd be like killing the owner of Sealand or something, but nope, you just shoot some glass.
Yeah, it's an exciting game. It's totally free. Check it out. There was a demo that released for that fighting game too. That's on there that I played a little bit. The Blaze Blue game. There's a demo on there for that, but you have to play it online. That's how you play it. You have to go online and fight people. So it's really weird. Like that's like instead of giving you like a little bit of a single player, like couple levels, or whatever, you got to go online and find somebody else. So I can't. Took me forever to figure that out, and I can't figure out how to switch your guy. But that's on there too for free if you're looking for something other than cats shooting each other or that pinball game that John talked about. But let's jump to the news real quick, and then we'll do our E3 predictions.
Ooh, can I talk real quick about my celebrity setting?
Oh yeah. Talk about your middle name that you said earlier and your opening thing.
Yeah. So I was at the grocery store at the 99-cent store here in Los Angeles. And, every once in a while you just run into, being in LA, you do run into people that are kind of familiar here and there. Not so much like A-listers, but there's a lot of like, oh, I've seen that guy somewhere on TV or this guy somewhere in a commercial, whatever. And, well, this time I was at the 99-cent store and I saw somebody from the realm of video games, more specifically the other world. Mm-hmm. I saw from the Mortal Kombat movie, the original Mortal Kombat movie, Liu Kang. The actor Robin Shou, he was there at the 99-cent store, and it was a little surreal. I was just doing my shopping, and I heard him spelling his name out to somebody else for some reason. He was saying what his name is and spelling it out, and I heard the name before I saw the face, and I thought that name is familiar, and I know that name because my old roommate Otis is a big martial arts movie fan. Mm-hmm. And was a fan of his specifically. Yeah. And so then I looked up and I saw him, and it's like, Robin Shou from Mortal Kombat. There's Liu Kang right there at my grocery store.
Well, awesome. Well, don't forget that he was also in an amazing movie called Beverly Hills Ninja. Don't forget that he was in that piece of treasure.
Yes. I remember that too. Yeah.
One of the last amazing movies of Chris Farley.
That was his brother, right?
Yeah, he played his brother. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's that one. He's in there. You should have asked him to be on the show. He could come talk about Mortal Kombat.
I should have. Yeah, but
I'm talking about working with Chris Farley.
Yeah.
all about all that. Working with Shang Tsung and Sonya Blade. Mm. But yeah, no, I've got a thing now. Like I've done that a couple times where I've like said something to people like, "Oh yeah, I like you and this and that," and it just always gets awkward every time. Mm-hmm. So I've never had it go like great. I've had it go okay. Mm. Sometimes, but
that's why you got to say the weird ones.
To not do that anymore.
It's the context too. It's a grocery store. You're not like at a convention.
Yeah,
or something.
He was at a grocery store. He was there with his little daughter, and I didn't want to interrupt him with the same thing he probably gets anytime he sees, a random guy of a certain age. Mm. I love Mortal Kombat.
Which is like, what was the craft services like of Beverly Hills Ninjas?
Yeah, you just gotta mention something more obscure.
The common questions,
Just come up to him and say just say, "Hey man, I loved you in Beverly Hills Ninja," and that's all. And that's all you need to say. And don't say anything else. He'll laugh because he knows that nobody likes that movie, so he'll find it funny. I mean, that's when I met Jeff Goldblum. I was like, I told him that I loved him in Earth Girls Are Easy. I mean, nobody ever tells him that, so he thought that was funny.
What did he say to that?
Oh, he just kind of laughed like that, like Jeremy did. Actually, no, I did I asked him who he was, which I thought that was funny. He thought that was funny too. I was like, what's your name? What are you doing here? I don't think you belong on the set. Could I direct you to a different area, sir? He's like, oh, Trey, that's funny. But yeah, that's what you gotta do. Say the weird shit. They love it. But yeah, Mortal Kombat, dude, we salute you. I think he was in Annihilation also, so don't forget that he was in the second one as well. I think he was the only.
In the second one, yeah.
He wasn't like the only returning actor of all the characters everybody else is recast, I think.
I watched the first 15 minutes of that movie. I couldn't get through it. It was like so incoherent.
Oh man, I saw that. I saw that movie in the theater, dude. was awful. But I sat in the fucking theater and watched all of it. It's a terrible movie, but
wow.
I watched it. Yeah, it's dumb. It's bad. It's a bad movie. Don't watch it.
I think it was him and the girl who played Katana. Katana was back. It wasn't Johnny Cage back too, at least for the beginning.
No, he was killed, but I don't think it's the same. I don't think it's the same actor because he was killed in 2. Because I know because like Raiden was recast. Like I know like Sonya was recast. Like everybody, like almost everybody who was in the first one was not there except for Liu Kang. I think, and I guess the Katana also. But yeah, it was a terrible movie. Anyway, let's move on to stuff less depressing than Mortal Kombat 2. Talk about the news real quick and then do our E3 predictions. And we don't have to necessarily talk about the fake news, the E3 leaks, until they're actually real. But I just want to talk about some cool things that are coming up in the future. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate got announced for America, so we have a Monster Hunter game coming to Switch. That's the Double Cross one that was released in Japan. You can get the demo for it, the Japanese one on there. I played it on there, blah, blah, blah. It's like the sequel to the 3DS game that we never got, so it hasn't been released here, so that's kind of cool. If you want to get another Monster Hunter to have sit around your apartment, like my other 2 Monster Hunter games, or 4 Monster Hunter games that I have, if you want to have another Monster Hunter game sitting around your apartment, you can totally get it. The NES Classic is returning to stores on the 29th of June. 29th. Yeah, we got that coming around, so anybody who bought one for like $300, I'm sorry. You can probably get one for real now.
Anybody who didn't get one? All right.
Here you go.
That's me.
Bringing it back.
It'll probably have a number 2 on it somewhere. It'll have something on it to distinguish.
No.
It'll be blue. It'll say like
it has to be the same.
It'll be like the greatest hits runs that are cheaper,
It'll not turn yellow over time like the first run.
Yeah. So yeah, that's coming out. The Bloodstained is getting a spin-off game, which apparently is awesome from what I've heard. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon is coming out next week, actually, next Thursday. So I'm super excited about that game.
But there's already another game coming out from it.
Yeah, well, Bloodstained isn't out yet, but Inti Creates, the guys who did Mega Man 9, and they also did the Blaster Master games. They've done a lot of really, really good, like old school, like retro styled games. They're making a game called Curse of the Moon, which sounds like a lot like Circle of the Moon, and it has like the same font as Castlevania and all that. But it looks amazing. Like it looks like Shovel Knight amazing. Like if you watch the video of it, like the sprite work looks awesome. It basically looks like a Castlevania game made like now, but still like 8-bit. Which I don't even want to say 8-bit because I think the graphics look way better than that. Like I think it's somewhere between like 8-bit and Super Nintendo. But that game's looks fucking amazing. Like Jeremy Parrish just wrote an article about it. Like I guess it was shown at Bid Summit in Japan. He was there, took a look at it, but it looks awesome. Like I'm super, super excited about the game. Comes out next week. That's a definite purchase for me. And it came out of fucking nowhere. Where Bloodstained had like no release whatsoever. They're like, oh yeah, here's this other game. Boom. It looks super cool. But yeah, anybody who likes Castlevania, like we were talking earlier, Aria of Sorrow is totally worth getting. I mean, don't sleep on that one. That one looks super awesome. Aside from that one that you guys probably aren't excited about, Taiko Drumbeat comes out in Japan on the 19th of July. The only reason I made a note of it is just because I really want to get it. And you can download it. And it's a rhythm game, so I could play it easily without knowing the language. Plus, there's like
a drum controller and everything?
There actually is a drum controller coming out. I don't know if you saw that, but It's like there is a drum thing. I don't know if you like stick your Joy-Con in there in the back or whatever, and it vibrates it, and that's how it knows. But yeah, it's like a little mini drum that you can play that you can buy for it.
Should just be a Labo.
Yeah, build it out of cardboard. Yeah. It's a little plastic thing, and it's got the, it looks cool. I'm not going to buy the drum. Obviously, I'm not going to have that shit from Japan. But I'm definitely going to buy it digitally on the Japanese shop, for sure. That comes out in July. I think it comes out the week after Octopath Traveler. So, you got that going on. There's a Floor Kids record. You can buy the soundtrack for that at turntablelab.com. I don't know if you caught that or not, but I thought that was kind of cool. I know you really dug the soundtrack to that, Jeremy, so made me think of you when I saw it online. Also, there's a date and time now for Nintendo E3 Direct. It's June 12th at 11 o'clock Central, 11 a.m. It's the official E3 Spotlight Video Direct, whatever they're going to call it. So there's some stuff actual out in there, and they are having like Treehouse stuff before that and after, of course. So we got that to look forward to, and it's like less than a month away. So I thought we would do E3 predictions. If there isn't any news that I missed, we can jump right into that right now.
Well, what about Minecraft? We've been talking about Minecraft.
Oh yeah, Minecraft is getting the official new version, whatever the
Bedrock Edition.
Yeah, what do they call it? Is it really the Bedrock Edition?
It's called the Bedrock Edition. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's the unifying version where you'll be able to play with basically anybody but PS4.
Yeah. Are you excited about that? I mean, you're a Minecraft guy.
I think it's cool. I mean, it's going to bring it up to speed with the PC version, which is kind of cool when you think about how the console and the PC have always been different. Since the console game first came out on the 360 back in like 2012 or whenever that was.
Is it gonna?
So it's crazy to think that now like the console version's finally going to be up to date with the PC, and it's going to be on a Nintendo console.
Is it gonna be bigger then? Like I know you were talking before how like there's more area on the PC version. So you're saying it's going to be equivalent to that, right?
Essentially, they've rewritten the entire code to make it to where, each element takes up less space, and as a result, like you get a lot more in a smaller file size. I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, but it's just it's optimized to like run really, really well and to be cross-platform capable.
Okay,
so you can play it with a PC user if you wanted to.
And what day is that then? The release for that?
June 21st is when the Bedrock Edition is released. And if you already own Minecraft on the Switch, which I do, I don't know if you do. I don't think you do yet, Trey.
No, I don't have it. Yeah, is there going to be an update for the? Is there going to be an update for the Wii U version? I have that one.
I don't think so, but I do think that there will also be a physical version coming out around the same time. For anyone that wants to have a Switch Minecraft physical cartridge, which I do have the disc for the Wii U. You do as well, right?
I have the disc for the Wii U, yeah.
You bought it at Target.
I did. I bought it as part of those like buy two get one free things. You should do a stream of that whenever it comes out, just to feel around and see how much different it is, because you're kind of more familiar with Minecraft.
I could do that. Yeah, that's a month and 4 days from now. So
yeah, it's a while. It's a while from now.
But it will be a free update for me, so that's nice. I don't have to pay anything for it.
Give you a reason to play it again. Tomorrow, that Banner Saga, the first one comes out tomorrow. I don't really care about that, but the first of the 3 Banner Sagas is coming out. Super Burger Time comes out. I'm probably gonna get that. But the big one of the
archive.
Yeah, but the big one of the week is the Nightmares game, which we talked about before from the Nintendo Direct. You remember that Little Nightmares Complete Edition?
Little Nightmares, yeah.
Looks
cool.
Comes out on Friday.
I've heard not such great things about it though.
Yeah, some people aren't into it, but I think I'm going to check it out anyway. I mean, that's kind of my lock of the week there. I guess Battle Brigade came out this week too, but I don't know. It doesn't. It's a turn-based RPG, but it doesn't look great to me, I guess. I really think you should check out that weird Streets of Rage type game, John. The one that's like $13 that came out last week.
Yeah, the one that looks like
clay. It looks like claymation.
Does it look like claymation, or there's one that looks like almost like Mortal Kombat, like digitized actors.
Yeah, that's basically what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it like fully rendered, like a Donkey Kong Country. I think it looks like claymation though. Like watch an actual video of it moving. It looks kind of weird. It reminds me of
I've seen some Facebook ads for that game. They keep trying to get me to buy it. But I don't know. It looks kind of like things don't all come together to me.
Yeah, that's kind of
visual style's kind of hodgepodge.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too. But people love it. Like people have been like saying that it's great, and it's only $13. Like it's cheap. I've thought about getting it, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. But yeah, no, people have been raving about it. So, but yeah, it's supposed to look kind of like Killer Instinct and like Donkey Kong Country. But watch a video of it. I think it kind of looks like Clay Fighter, like those type of games. just the way the animation is, and it just looks strange. Maybe because of like the way, I don't know, it's kind of like that Mortal Kombat game that we played in Midwest Gaming Classic. That's supposed to look like Mortal Kombat, but it's HD, so it looks like really bad, like it looks like the really bad CD-ROM cutscene stuff from the 90s, that you'd find on a PC. So it doesn't look great. It looks strange, really, but it's what they're going for, so whatever. But yeah, that's that game. It's on there. I forgot about. But yeah, that's the quick stuff of the week that's coming up. I don't think any like things really showed up on the releases that isn't already on there, as far as I know. Yeah, I think just like Sushi Striker and stuff like that. But yeah, we already know when that was. But let's talk E3 real quick.
Sure.
So yeah, we were saying they have a spotlight coming up on the 12th. And of course they'll show whatever. There's already some really dumb leaks coming around about different things, which is annoying because for one, if they're real, they're spoilers. And for another thing, there's a lot of really dumb ones that are just like pads of paper that just say like, hey, these are what they're going to say and shit, Like a Lustrous Daybreak. That was when somebody said that'd be the new Fire Emblem game, which is like the dumbest name ever. I mean, that can't be real.
The title sounds kind of real.
Lustrous Daybreak. There was also that Walmart thing where it showed like some cover or some like games for pre-order that are supposed to like come up after E3, and one of them was Dragon Quest II, which doesn't make any sense at all. So it's like, and there's like, and there were hardly any Nintendo stuff in there, and like it showed like Final Fantasy VII Remake coming out this year. Everybody knows that that's not physically possible, so
it's never coming out.
I mean, it's probably going to come out in 2025, maybe, probably for PlayStation 5, but whatever. But yeah, and we talk about that in our interview. But yeah, so what do you guys think? Let's do a couple predictions real quick for the
sure
for the spotlight.
Well,
who wants to go first?
Sort of the big rumor that came out this week was Star Fox Grand Prix.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the viability of that? Do you think that's real? A Star Fox racing game?
Well, what I think is, I think that, I don't know, it's hard for me to say anything because if you remember last year, the big rumor was the Mario plus Rabbids game, which was real and ended up being good. So who the fuck knows? Maybe they're doing that. It would suck if it is really in there and it already got unveiled now. Like that's what sucks. I'd rather have Nintendo unveil it the way they wanted to, instead of having some jackass like saying that they know about shit, like Emily Rogers, like hey, where's all those GameCube games at, Emily Rogers? So that's all I want to know. Where are all those fucking GameCube Virtual Consoles? The Virtual Console's dead. That's where they are. That's what I'm saying. Calling you out at me on Twitter. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's real. If it's real and then there's no F-Zero crossover, then why are they even bothering?
Yeah, somebody on the NVC forum mentioned that. I forget who, but they thought that maybe it was going to be an F-Zero crossover, and I thought that was a great idea. I would play that game for sure.
Well, Star Fox
makes sense. It's not too much of a jump stylistically.
Yeah. Well, Star Fox already did crossover with F-Zero in a way because there's an alternate ending in Star Fox Command where Fox and Falco become G-Zero racers, but it's basically F-Zero. So, but what's weird about having them cross over is that Fox, there is a character in F-Zero called James McCloud, and he's a human. So, will Fox have to meet his human parent if they cross over? That's kind of a strange thing. I don't know. He looks like a fox. His hair
Mario Odyssey, where like the humans are different than Mario.
Yeah, but they're not his parents. I guess. Well, I don't know.
This crossover would confirm that bestiality exists in the Nintendo universe.
Yeah, James Cloud got crazy with Crystal or something, or Crystal's mom. So now they're related. Oh God, great fan fiction there for Star Fox. I don't know. It doesn't.
Peach is Bowser Jr.'s mom too. Yeah. This is a recurring theme.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be a crossover for me, but it'd be a shame if it wasn't. Just because F-Zero hasn't really had much happening for it lately, even though they did.
Well, I like it in concept that it's going to be, I think some have compared it to Diddy Kong Racing, where it's adventure racing. It would be pretty cool to take, like they're doing with Mario Tennis Aces, for example,
and put a
common element in a lot of those type of sports games lately. But if it was like an RPG element racer, how cool would that be?
Yeah. Well, I know the F-Zero, like the name they restarted the trademark, or they re-trademarked it or whatever. But that could have something to do with their online service too. Like they might be planning on re-releasing F-Zero, Super Nintendo, and all that, like as part of the pay-to-play thing or whatever. So
yeah, I want it to be real. That's for sure.
I'd like it to be real. I mean, having a story in any game would be great. Like that's what made F-Zero GX so good on GameCube, is because it had that story mode. So I say go for it. Is that your prediction? Does anybody? I'll predict that there's an F-Zero game, but not the Grand Prix game. How about that? I'm gonna say
I know.
Grand Prix
my
game is not good.
Not that.
And the F-Zero's coming out. That's me. Or there'll be an unveiling of that. That'll be my prediction. I also think that Star Tropics is going to get a sequel on Switch. Star Tropics 3. Mike will be somewhere. He'll have to fight Zoda, like in the tropics or in Antarctica or something like that. That would be my favorite thing to see at E3. Is a very lost franchise that I love.
A cool revival, yeah.
Yeah, and just make it like Breath of the Wild, where like you can go anywhere and hit everybody with your yo-yo. Be amazing.
Now my prediction, I'm throwing down again. Another mom hid my game. I think it's been long enough that they could have released another batch of levels. And that might be even the one that's like, hey, it's available next week.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be cool. And I think it was a pretty big hit, too. A lot of people talked about it.
Oh, for that one.
New mom hid my game.
Yeah, for that one, I would think it'd be like, it's available now,
Yeah.
So.
Well, my prediction is very similar to my prediction from last year about my 2018 prediction. I think we're going to see the successor to the DS. And that's a big one. This is a big
you're thinking of 4Ds? You think we're just going to see the 4Ds?
I think we're going to see a new piece of hardware at E3. Maybe I'm wrong exactly about what it is, but I do think there's going to be a new piece of hardware that's going to be like a gaming thing. And I think it's going to replace the 3DS because they have slowed their roll a lot. They keep saying like we're pushing it.
Well, they're still making games for it though,
or whatever. But
they still got Luigi coming out next year. I mean, Nintendo, like, they flat out said it at their investors meeting, saying that they're going to keep the 3DS around because more kids play it and it has like a huge install base, and they're not ready to get rid of it yet. But it also sounds very similar to the whole like third pillar thing. So you never really know with Nintendo. They might be like, no, we're done. But
here we are coming up on. It'll be 2 years since the blowout of the Switch. Well, no, they hadn't even announced the Switch 2 years ago.
Wasn't
so, I don't know. It's about time for some new hardware. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but didn't they? I'm pretty sure that they announced the 2DS XL last year at E3.
Good.
So you're saying that they need a new one? They need a 2DS XXL?
No, I'm not saying they
something?
need it. I just
think they'll do it.
I don't even know if they're going to give a time or a place, but maybe they're going to imply that they're working on new hardware.
Yeah.
I just think this is the year where we hear about the successor to the 3DS.
Well, that's a prediction I haven't heard yet, so maybe we'll keep tabs on these, of course, like in a month when we hear about it. If we're gonna talk about stuff that we said at the beginning of the year, I'm still holding out for that Mario Kart 9 game that I said would happen at the beginning of the year. I'm still holding off for a sequel to 8 because I'm not buying 8 again on the Switch. Sorry, Nintendo. But even though I thought about it for my birthday party, but I'm waiting for that Mario Kart 9. And how about some more Odyssey DLC? I mean, that's kind of an easy one, but
yeah, that would
they
be
could
good,
easily do that.
Everybody was, I think, collectively disappointed in Luigi's Balloon World, and I don't know if anybody is still searching for balloons out there.
Mm-hmm.
But how about some real DLC for Mario Odyssey?
Yeah, and they could do some. They could do some more. I know they said they were done with Breath of the Wild, but it'd be nice to see more Breath of the Wild DLC stuff. But
how about? Well, you already said Star Tropics. I was going to say Wild out of the blue.
Yeah, something they haven't done anything with for a while. Well, that's what I'm saying. Star Tropics, like that's something they haven't done since the NES, and they would love to see something come back like that, or like Kid Icarus, I guess, like another one of those. But the 3DS one was so weird that I don't know.
What about the return of Final Fantasy Mainline? Like, what if they bring Final Fantasy 15?
Yeah, I feel like they already tried that and it didn't work though. Well, I guess they couldn't do the full-on PlayStation 4 version. But if they could find a way, something that's in between that and the mobile game, I guess, maybe. It would be nice to see some sort of Final Fantasy thing there. Like maybe like Final Fantasy 10 or Final Fantasy 12, like the HD
12?
remakes.
I think it's a good time for 12 to come back.
Oh, it already did, though. It already is an HD remake on PlayStation 4. So they could just port that. Same with like the HD remake of like 9. Or like the HD remake of 10. Like they could do any of those and bring those over. So, or you could localize the fucking Secret of Mana games that we didn't get that were here. That'd be great also, but probably not something we're going to see. But I mean, I would like to see some more Squaresoft stuff. Like to see more RPG announcements. I'm always into that stuff. I mean, there's stuff that we still haven't really heard anything about. They could talk more about, like speaking of RPGs, like The World Ends With You. They could talk more about that. Like that was like barely touched on. I feel like they're probably gonna push a lot of the tennis game, because the tennis game's coming out like I think right after E3. So
looks really polished too.
So they're probably gonna show some play of that. I mean, they should. I know they're doing like they're doing a big Smash Brothers thing, right? Like they're gonna have people actually playing the new Smash Brothers. So that's going to be a thing. We're going to see whatever that is. Maybe there's.
I think we'll get a Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, you're still holding out for that one?
I think if that's going to happen, that's going to happen this E3, or it's never going to happen. And that game, it makes way too much money for it to not come to Switch.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they didn't do it. I mean, it's really weird for them to start with L.A. Noire, which is such like a game that's not really, I don't know. Like, Pete, I don't think people agree on that one, like whether they like it or not. I personally didn't think it was that great, but it's not really a system seller. It's like releasing like the fucking ping pong game that they did, for Switch. It's like, it's just a weird Rockstar game to put on there. Like, why didn't you just go for the big one? I mean, Grand Theft Auto will sell easily. You don't need to put a weird ass game like L.A. Noire in there to see like the interest, because like who cares about that game? I don't know.
Well, I kind of think they re-released that one just because
they re-released it on other
they put it in
systems.
VR, which I think in VR it's an interesting concept, and maybe just kind of as a side thing. They were like, oh, we're updating it for VR. Let's use those assets and put it out for the other systems.
Well, they also did. They also did do like a HD re-release, whatever. They did do like the Ultimate version, and they did re-release it for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and all that. So I guess they just lumped it in with that because it was getting a re-release. But at the same time, Grand Theft Auto 5 also got re-released for PlayStation 4 as an Ultimate Edition. So I mean, but that was before
GTA 5 on Switch. I mean, like, that's just a no-brainer. That game has made so much money, and still I think is in the top 10 after like 4 years. 4 years or 5 years on the market, almost 4.5 years. Like, just bring it over to Switch, and all these people who have already bought it on PS4 and Xbox, and they love it on there, take it on the go. People like me who've never owned it, I can finally buy that game.
Yeah, you can.
I would love to see that.
Yeah. And I'd really like to see, I don't know, I'd like to see some more third-party stuff. I'd be really surprised if Fortnite doesn't show up at E3. I mean, Fortnite's on everything. I mean, I played the game a little bit. I don't understand it, I guess, but I'd be really surprised if that's not on Switch. I mean, it's on phones, for crying out loud, so I figure we'll see that in some way. Maybe we'll see something of Dragon Quest XI. Maybe they'll unveil, what I'm hoping is like maybe some of those things that, like the Sega Ages thing, maybe like that'll end up being part of their online service, and maybe they'll unveil that.
Yeah.
And that's where they do.
Since we're not getting the VC, maybe what we'll get this E3 is more announcements from third parties, like more of a picture of what their plan will be to release their old games independently.
Yeah.
Like how, Sega's got Sega Ages, maybe Capcom will do something, and EA will do something, but
I mean, Capcom already is doing
Capcom
stuff.
is doing the Mega Man thing.
I mean, Capcom's already doing...
Yeah.
Well, Capcom's already doing Mega Man Legacy 1 and 2 and the X Collection and Street Fighter, so they already have a presence on the system.
They already have their,
So that's already there.
I wouldn't be surprised to see more companies do like what Sega did and have a banner for their classic games.
Yeah. And
have that banner be the same even across all platforms.
Yeah. It would be nice to see Konami do that, but they don't really do that. They're not really into re-releasing
whatever's going on with Konami, who knows?
Yeah, they just make all their money off of the pachinko machines, right? Pretty much nowadays. I don't know. Or Metal Gear Survive, whatever that was. I don't know. Maybe we'll get that game on Switch. I don't know. I'm hoping to get like, I want to get surprised with some stuff. Like, I'm not really sold on the Smash Brothers game. I mean, I know I'll get it when it comes out, but it isn't different enough for me yet because I've only seen a little bit of it. So I'd like to see more of that, of course.
I would love to see a new Chibi Robo in the classic form, finally,
of the
GameCube sequel. None of this like side-scrolling kind of stuff.
Yeah, Chibi
Robo game. I want it to come back.
It's such a weird game that it's hard to. I don't know. I don't know if they even want to do anything more with that because I feel like everything after the GameCube one, and maybe even the GameCube one as well, didn't really sell that much. So it's kind of like I don't know. But that would be kind of one that's like completely out of nowhere, where it's like, what? Okay.
I would love that.
It would. I mean,
like a Katamari game finally coming to Nintendo. Because they used to. There's a rumor it was going to come to DS. I remember back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Do they even make Katamari games anymore? I thought they just made them for iOS.
There was a mobile one that came out not that long ago, but I didn't really play it.
Yeah, the mobile ones weren't so hot.
I had a mobile one for my flip phone. I had a mobile one that I played on my indestructible flip phone. And it was not great, but it was like $2, so it was worth it. Back in the day when you had nothing to play on your phone, I played that and Mega Man 2. So, you found ways to do things. But, yeah, we have Mega Man 10 is coming up. Or no. Yeah. So, I mean, they could try that one. I mean, maybe they'll be able to play that. I mean, it's a future release. There'll be some of that. I have a feeling that they're going to do the same thing as they did last year. They're going to do the Spotlight, and then right directly after, they're going to do a Treehouse for another game that isn't in the Spotlight. Just like what they did for Samus Returns last year. That was really cool, where they're like, here's Metroid Prime 4, and here's Samus Returns. Do you think we'll see like gameplay of Metroid Prime 4? Speaking of, do you think you will, or you think you won't?
I don't think gameplay.
Oh, okay, but just another trailer.
Yeah, I think maybe some actual gameplay footage.
Yeah, but not you can't actually
footage,
play
but
it.
actual like footage of concept art or whatever, or concept video.
What about Pokemon? Do you think Pokemon will be there?
Hello.
The guy will show up again and just be like, hey, just an update. We're a little further along, but
I swear,
nothing to talk about.
I swear we're working on it. Shut up. It's coming. Leave me alone. Yeah, there seems to be like more rumors about Pokemon dropping this year. I really don't think it's going to happen, but
I don't either.
If it does, who knows? Like I said, that's another Emily Rogers thing where I'm like,
and there's
where are the GameCube games?
That's a rumor right now.
So I'm just kind of like, I'm saying no to every rumor that I see because I'm just tired of seeing them. But yeah, I mean, what would be the ultimate game that you would like to see aside from like Grand Theft Auto or whatever? If you had of a Nintendo franchise other than like Chibi Robo, like what would you want?
An actual Nintendo franchise?
Chibi Robo is what you want?
Yeah, Chibi Robo.
I would like to
see real Chibi Robo.
I would like to see like a 2D Mario or like a top-down Zelda. I would like to see some of that. Like I don't want them to completely abandon that now that they've done a 3D one. It would be nice to see. They don't have to necessarily do it in the new Super Mario Brothers art style, but it would be cool to see like a 2D Mario. I actually kind of wish they would do another art style, something kind of more like Super Mario World, but HD. Like a sprite based design is what I would want if they would do it. And of course, an F-Zero game.
New Super Mario Brothers. That title should be retired.
Yeah,
I hated it when it first came out,
but it's always new.
It just dates itself immediately.
Yeah,
it came out 13 years ago, and it's still new. Yeah. Like, don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And I mean that just in general for all media properties. Don't call something new whatever, because then it's new for whatever, however long. It's stupid.
Think of like the new
3DS.
Final Fantasy newest album ever, which came out in like 1997.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's basically so you go into the store and you're like, hey, do you have the new 3DS? Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, thanks. Even though it's probably the old one now because there's the 2DS XL or whatever. Yeah, but I would like to see a 2D Mario. I would love to see like Wario World, like some 2D Wario World stuff on there would be cool. Yeah. I mean, any sort of 2D sprite-based game, I'm totally into. I love those games.
Yeah,
I'd say maybe like finally some like Netflix or something on the Switch.
Netflix, yeah. How about a real Paper Mario? I would like.
Yeah, I was
going
to say that. Yeah,
real Paper Mario.
Paper Mario, yeah.
But
I want to see Mario Maker. I didn't get a shot at Mario Maker. And the Switch is perfect for it. So
I figured if they were going to do that, they would have done it by now. So that maybe they'll do a new one, like a new Mario Maker or something, like a Mario Maker 2,
or the rumored Zelda Maker. I'd like to see a Zelda Maker.
Yeah, or a Punch Out Maker. You can just make a bad guy to punch.
Metroid Maker,
Duck Hunt Maker. You can design your own ducks.
Ice Climbers Makers.
You can make it not suck. Okay. Is that any other predictions for right now you guys got?
I think that's about it for me.
All right. Well, let's take a break and then we'll go to our interview.
Sounds good.
We have Kate Fineberg here from the internet. What do you do?
How's it going, Kate?
Job.
No, I mean, I found you on Twitter. I know you do. I know you've written some stuff, and you've streamed, and you have a YouTube channel as well. I've checked that out. Just what have you been doing lately?
Mostly just writing in my blog and streaming here and there, and trying to put effort into my YouTube channel and failing at it. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, the YouTube channel is hard. It's like it feels like sometimes you get people to watch stuff, and sometimes you don't. I don't think anybody's watched my Skies of Arcadia stuff on there, but it's fine.
I was watching it while I was writing. I'm very
nice.
excited to see someone play Skies of Arcadia. I love that game.
Yeah, I just finished it, and I saw that you were into Sega stuff and Sega RPGs and whatnot, and I'm a big RPG fan myself. Jereme is too, so I thought you could come on the show and talk about that and whatever else. What were you writing while you were watching that?
I'm writing about gaming and depression, and my friend Ian was talking about how games nowadays are always negative. That's all you hear is the gamer rage and the bullying. And I wanted to write how gaming helped me with my depression. So I'm writing about that.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's great. I know how you feel. Like, gaming can really help, like, especially like when you feel trapped in your own depression, it gives you a world that you can actually like make good, and you'll feel like you're progressing and doing things and all that. I've been fairly depressed myself most of my life, so video games really helped me out, like especially like in high school when I was a kid and all that.
They're definitely a comfort when things are especially hard, like a kind of a little solace where you can go and curl up and be somewhere familiar.
It's true. Just to play a game and you can escape, like you guys said, and also discover something about you that never knew existed. That's what I like about gaming. You learn from games, like with history or art or music. And it's kind of cool. Like with Castlevania, I got into the history of Romania and
cool.
and Valteps. And I want to go to Romania one of these days just to see the history of how it transcended from actual history to a video game series.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I never went that far into Castlevania. I mean, I love the Castlevania games, but I never really thought about the design
actually going there,
where it came from. Yeah,
it'd be kind of cool though.
That's rad. Yeah,
I can't imagine it would be bad. It would be cool.
Yeah, I know you can visit the actual castle and they do like a tour of stuff, but it'd be cool to see history. I mean, I'm not huge into Castlevania because I'm really bad at the game, but I like the lore. The lore is really interesting with Belmont Legacy and against Dracula, and it's so fun. I don't know. I like the stories a lot more than the actual gameplay.
Well, the later ones, the ones that are more like Metroidvania or whatever you want to call it, the ones where you can level up, like whenever you get stuck, you can always just like grind, like to get farther, which is nice.
Yeah, I really like the ones on the Game Boy Advance they're like the best ones.
Yeah, Circle of the Moon is my favorite.
Oh really?
Oh wow.
That's the hard one.
That's like that's real hard.
It is. I never beat it, but I love it so much.
Yeah, neither have I. Like all the random drops and stuff was really hard to get a grasp on.
It's been so long. I mean, I was fighting some kind of, I think it was a multi-headed dragon of some form. This is the last I can remember. I gave up because it was so hard.
Yeah.
And I even tried grinding, and that didn't help.
No. Is that the one where you can just spin your whip if you hold the button, the Y button?
Yeah.
I always wanted to try to find a way to like hold the button down.
I did. I taped it.
Yeah, you did.
And leveled up a little bit while I was doing other stuff.
Yeah, you got to just leave it.
Yeah, I went to a room where the floating ghost bad guys were, and they would just keep coming into the whip while I was standing there.
Yeah, like the Medusas or whatever that just like constantly come at you, and you can just keep hitting them with your whip. Let me ask you, Kate. Have you gotten a Switch yet?
No.
Oh, do you have any plans on getting one?
I want to get the Wii U first.
Oh, okay.
Because I have some games I'm buying before it goes insane with the prices. And then a Switch.
Oh, okay.
Down the road.
Was it what was it that held you back? Was it just there's not enough games, or you just don't have the money, or you wanted to play the Wii U version first?
And also, it's just there's only really one game I want to play on it. It's not Zelda, but it's like one game, which is Ys, that I want to play on the Switch. Cause I love Ys, but I can't rationalize paying all that money for a system for one game.
That'd be like $340 total or whatever to play one game.
Plus the add-ons and then the memory card. It's not worth it right now.
Yeah, that's like the game that I'm it's like the big RPG that I'm anticipating is Ys 8 on Switch for next month. So I'm kind of trying to find something to play in between on there.
When's Octopath in July, right?
Yeah. What do you think about Octopath Traveler? Have you seen any of that?
I have. It's really interesting. I saw the pre-order looked gorgeous. The extras,
the $100 one. Yeah, I don't think I can get that one, but yeah, it comes with like a house, or is it like it's like a book that it's like a pop-up
opens
book,
up, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm super excited about that. It almost looks like an HD version of like Final Fantasy VI, like the way the sprites are designed and all that, and it looks really cool. I'm super excited about it.
It kind of has that darker adult theme to it. Like I feel definitely, especially at the beginning.
Yeah, if you play
as the lady.
Yeah, if you played if you played the demo, like it's very like she's like a dancer, like a sex worker kind of thing, and she has like an abusive pimp and that sort of thing, and you get to fight him, and so it's very much like serious, and it has it had voice acting too in the demo. Like the demo was very impressive. That was like my favorite demo of last year.
Yeah, I heard good things about it. I've been intrigued by it.
Yeah, it looks really cool. What games would it take to be on there for you to get the Switch? If you had the money to?
I think more role-playing games and more survival horror. That would get me into getting a Switch before the Wii U.
Oh, sure. What are you looking forward to playing on the Wii U? Like, what do you have?
Bayonetta 2.
Oh, okay. That's on the Switch, too.
I know it's for Switch. I have it for the Wii U that came with the first one and the second one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I have that one. The Wii U one.
Oh, so you have the game, but you don't have the system.
Yeah, I'm reversing myself. I'm buying games first just because they are going to go, like with anything that GameStop or places stop selling, online prices go up. So I was just buying a couple of games here and there on GameStop or Target.
That's smart.
I don't want to pay full price or triple the money for a game.
Sure. What else do you have for Wii U? Is that the only one you got?
I have the Wind Waker, Gaia Sisters, Captain Toad, the Treasure game.
Yeah.
Those are all good games. I haven't played the Gaia Sisters, but I've heard that's fun.
Yeah, I was watching my friend on Twitter, the Deviant. He was streaming the Gaia Sisters, and I had asked people like months ago, like, what do you recommend for Wii U games? And he said that, so I picked it up. It looks fun. It was for PS4, but I got the Wii U version.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't heard of that one. I have to check it out. You have to be careful on the Wii U because Nintendo's been like delisting some of their games. Like they just recently pulled a Tropical Freeze off of the eShop for Wii U to try to get people to buy the Switch one. So
it's pretty jerky.
Yeah.
It really is. Because I heard there was some outrage from it. They pulled it off because on Switch.
Yeah, I think it's because I don't know. It was $20 on Wii U. And now it's $60 on Switch, and a lot of people are upset about that. Which, it's a great game. It's also like an old game. It's like almost like 5 years old. So it's kind of like, could you guys just sell it at $40? I don't know.
You're paying $40 for Funky.
Yeah, pretty much for Funky mode, just to make it a little bit easier. Like he has like one extra hit point, whatever. But
there you go.
Yeah, I mean that game's really cool. It's just like I don't know. They seem to be doing that with a lot of stuff.
I want to get it someday. I just $60. If it never came out for another system, I would have already bought it. But just knowing that, I'm like, I can't do it. I couldn't do it with Lego City. I really wanted that game.
Yeah.
And I eventually bought it because it was crazy on like $10 or $15.
It's like $15, I think, sale. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I got to grab it now because it's less than it was on the Wii U.
Yeah. The annoying thing with Nintendo games, I guess it's a good thing too, like for like buying and reselling, but their properties like rarely go down in price, and they hardly ever put anything on sale, I feel like. So that can be like a double-edged sword. Like I don't see Tropical Freeze going on sale anytime soon.
Unless they start doing the selects again.
Yeah, unless they start doing like the greatest hits stuff, then it'll be $20. But it's like they send you this, like if you're in the Nintendo club or whatever, they send you like an email for your birthday month. And that has like discounts in it, like 30% discounts. And they sent one to me, and it's all like old 3DS games. There's like no Switch games in there at all. It's like okay, it's like not a single Switch game because I would have like considered getting Mario Kart 8 again if they had a thing for Switch, but no, it didn't because that was another one that was re-released like with the same with $60 and extra stuff. Have you played that at all, the Mario Kart 8?
I have on the Switch. My friend Elise, when she lived here before she moved back home, we're at a bar playing Mario Kart 8. It's a really fun game.
It is.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Especially when you're drinking, because then it's a lot more fun when you
Of course. Yeah, no, that one's a lot of fun. You should definitely pick that up for Wii U once you get a hold of one. I know you can buy them from like my roommate bought one, refurbished one from Nintendo for not a whole lot. That's probably like the best way to get one now, I think.
That's the way I bought mine. Well, I bought it a few years ago, but it was $200 even, and it came with the Nintendo Land game. But I've never played that game. I don't really ever play that game, and I don't know if you can still do that through. Does Nintendo still sell them through their website? Trey, do you know?
I think they did because my roommate Conan got one from there. I feel like he got his for like $100 something though.
Yeah, it might be less now.
Yeah, maybe like $150 or I don't know. It'd be worth looking into. See what they're selling.
Plus,
it for.
It'll be covered by a warranty.
Unless they've completely delisted that too, and then they're just like, nope, no more. Sorry.
They're burying all the Wii U's in the desert by where ET used to be.
Yeah, they don't want you. They don't want you to see it at all. What is your all-time favorite Nintendo game?
Final Fantasy 3 for Super Nintendo.
Okay, that's a good choice.
Cool.
Yeah, I was just thinking about playing that again on the because I played it. I did like a stream of it when I first got the Super Nintendo Classic, and I played like 6 hours of it, and I was thinking about like going back and finishing it.
That's cool.
As far as my Twitter poll goes, that seems to be what people want to see is that one. So I guess I'll start playing that.
Are you going to play it through the Classic if you do?
Yeah, I'll play it through the Super Nintendo Classic because I already have 6 hours on there that I put on. It's on Twitch. Like I uploaded it, so it'll always be there. People can watch it. So that's one. I haven't played it. I think last time I played it was on. I played it on PSP when they had like a big Final Fantasy sale. And they do that a lot. Like it was like $5 for all of them, but that was like 3 years ago, I guess. And I feel like I played through, like I got all the way to World of Ruin, but I didn't beat it all the way.
I played the Game Boy Advance version of it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, have I played it?
Yeah.
No, I haven't played the Game Boy Advance version, but I know Jereme has it.
Yeah, I own it. It's slightly different in just a couple localization things, but it's the same game for the most part.
Well, I think a lot of people complain about it because of the sound. Like that the music isn't as good.
Oh, right.
For the Game Boy than it was
because
on the
it's
Super
so
Nintendo.
Compressed.
Yeah, it's like the big complaint. Have you played that one, the portable one?
Yeah.
Which would you prefer the Super Nintendo one, though? I'm sure.
I do, just because that's how I got introduced to it. Mm-hmm. So having it portable before the PSP was a boon. It was really cool to have it and be at school or taking a break and just play one of my favorite games.
For sure, yeah. That was like Final Fantasy 3/6 was like my introduction to RPGs, like to turn-based RPGs. I mean, I played Dragon Warrior when I was a kid, but I didn't really understand it. But like that was the first game that I played that I was like, oh, this is really cool. You know, like this genre is really really nice. And then nothing really ever lived up to it after that. No.
Well, that's true, man. It was my first. I mean, Mystic Quest, which I've mentioned before on the podcast.
Yeah,
we've even done an episode about it. But that was my first one, which was like the hand-holding kids RPG.
Mm-hmm.
And, but it did create an appetite to try another Final Fantasy, and Final Fantasy 3 was just there's nothing to compare to it, and it's not. I know it's not just my personal experience. It's a lot of people say it's one of the best games ever made. So there you go. I played that and felt an immense sense of accomplishment playing all the way through a huge RPG like that as a kid. It was nice.
Yeah, I feel like I even played it like a second time, like after I beat it, because I was so excited about how cool it was. Like I know.
Did you lose Shadow or did you save him the first time?
I saved him, but I got the Nintendo Power, the strategy guide with it, so I knew not to leave him there.
I had a strategy guide that my friend loaned me. But I don't think I started looking at it until after that. And so I had already lost Shadow.
Oh.
Because I only had a few seconds left when he came up, which I think is the way it always is. But I didn't know that. And I was like, oh, crap. No, I don't have time to wait.
Yeah.
And he died.
Yeah, that whole part's pretty intense at the end there with the floating island and all that. I remember that was like the first time I started like disliking the game because I felt like the difficulty really ramped up when you got to the floating island.
Oh, it did. Even just the random battles were harder.
Yeah, it took me a while to get through that. A cool story about Final Fantasy VI for me is when I got it from my dad for my birthday when I was a kid, and he bought it for me with the strategy guide because he's like, oh, the guy at the game store told me that you need this, so he got the strategy guide for it. But my dad had a van that had 2 TVs in it with 2 Super Nintendos in it, and I went down to Florida with him, and he drove me like from Illinois to Florida in the van, and I played Final Fantasy on the TV there for most of the drive. So I got like 20 hours in, like just playing in the van. It's pretty rad.
Oh,
it's like
cool.
That was like my first, actually playing the game experience.
So you got a portable Final Fantasy experience.
Yeah, I sort of had a portable experience. One of the things was like whenever you turned off the car, the Super Nintendo was automatically shut off. So that kind of sucked. So I had to I told him, I was like, just let me know before you're going to turn off the car, just to make sure that I can save and stuff. So he would do that. He'd be like, oh, you okay? Have you saved? I'm like, yeah. All right, you can turn it off. Because everything, all the power just goes completely out. So
it's like, I really need to get gas, Trey. I can't gas it up with the engine running. Hold on a second. I just started the floating island.
Yeah, no, I didn't get that far. I didn't get all the way to the floating island, but I remember playing the part in the snow and the part with where you split up with the Moogles and all that. All that's in the beginning, but I remember playing all that in the van, and they had headphone sets and all that, so it was really cool. There was a TV in the front and one in the back, so it was fancy technology back in 97 or whenever it was.
That's cool.
I guess I wasn't that much of a kid back then. I was 17, but it feels like a kid.
You're a kid.
Yeah, that was 20 years ago, so it feels like a kid. What is your favorite RPG of all time?
Of all time would be Phantasy Star 4 for Genesis.
Oh yeah, no, that game is awesome. I like that game a lot. It's the cool thing about Genesis is they're almost kind of like a second party now to Nintendo. So for people who listen to our show that mostly play Nintendo stuff, you can find a lot of that on there. I know, it was on Virtual Console, but Virtual Console is kind of dying now. You can't add money anymore, unfortunately. But that was the first time I played it. Was on Wii. It was a Phantasy Star 4. And was there a Game Boy release for that? I know I have Phantasy Star Collection that has 1, 2, and 3 on it.
That was the only thing for Game Boy was a collection for the first 3. But then Sega released for the PC, PC, PS2, PS3, 360, the Sonic Collection. It had all 4 Phantasy Star games.
Yeah.
So when you beat, I think, Part 4, Part 1, the first game would actually appear as a achievement. You could play the first game with Alice.
Oh, okay.
And it's being re-released, and in the month with new games, I think, under the Sega Collection.
Yeah,
cool.
Is that the Sega Age, or is that Sega Ages, or is that a different thing?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I have the Sonic one that has the Phantasy Star on there for PlayStation 3.
Yeah, I have the actual cartridge. I bought it off a friend probably close to a year ago now, but a friend sold me their whole Sega collection and that was in it.
Oh, that's cool.
So I haven't had a chance to play through it yet, but I'd like to hear about it. I have the actual cartridge and maybe I'll stream it or something.
Definitely, I'll watch.
You should. No,
I love that game. I still have the game when I got it as a kid in the strategy guide for it.
Cool.
Same with Final Fantasy 3. I still have those guys. They're torn up from the cats when I was growing, and me drawing on it, cake stuff.
Yeah. Nice.
But Phantasy Star 4 is when you first play it, it's the first one that has anime introductions with cutscenes.
It does, yeah.
Like a comic book, and the music, even now, is still amazing.
I like the Secret Place song? The one that's da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Yeah, that one's cool. I like that song. I did a WART radio episode for Nintendomain Podcast, which is just a video game music. And I did a space themed one, and I did a different song from each of the first 4 Phantasy Stars, even though I think I might have did Phantasy Star Online for one of them. But
that's cool.
Yeah, no, 4 is really cool. That's the only one I played all the way through was Phantasy Star 4. But I really liked it. I want to play 1, but it was I just haven't gotten into it. And a lot of people really, really like 2 from what I heard, and I haven't played that either.
I have never played 2. I rented 3 before 4, and I was kind of confused on it.
Yeah, I heard that a lot of people were down on 3. They say that was the worst out of all of them.
I want to play it because I know it has the Descendants, so kind of like the new Fire Emblem game where you can pick your partner and get married and your child becomes a hero.
Okay. Yeah.
that was like with 3. So depending on who you picked and who you chose the main character, you'll get either a boy or girl in different hair colors, and it's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, no, I didn't know about that, but I haven't touched it that much, but I do have it. I have it I have the Game Boy Advance version and the PlayStation 3 version, so I can always go back to it, the collection.
So how long of a game is Phantasy Star 4, like playtime, would you say?
I think it's on the shorter side, but you've probably played it more, Kate.
It would be the shorter side. It's not like a Final Fantasy game. I would say maybe about 40 hours, if that, if you do all the side quests. If you don't do the Hunter Guild's quests, which is just, you'll have to do one to get access to the main town in the beginning of the game. You fight that worm. But if you don't do anything else, it's a really short game because you can just do the bare minimum leveling up in the castles, like in the areas, and get done pretty quickly. When I was playing it last year, it took me about maybe like the whole weekend to beat it.
Wow.
Because I just play it so often. I know,
right,
like,
so you knew where you're going and what to use on each enemy and everything.
Yeah.
And
even so, like with what I like about the game is that you can actually customize like the attacks and make combinations. So I had a whole notebook as a kid of different combos that Rune would use and Chaz and the reaction they would take.
Yeah, you can set up different like attack patterns, right? Like, and you just hit and it'll always do it. Like, I remember that being on there, and I felt like that was really progressive for the time, where you can kind of, so like, you know, if you get in the rhythm of like fighting a lot of guys, you can just like pick one thing for your strategy, and you don't really have to go through and select all that, which is always nice, especially when you do a lot of like random battles and that type of thing.
Mm-hmm. A nice little bonus. I love the game so much. So if you do stream it, I will be there watching like a little kid with my hands cupped in my face watching, just to see your reaction. Because like your Final Fantasy 3 story, I had rented a Genesis on vacation to play this game when I bought it with the guide. So we're at Cape Cod for a week, and I had just sat in the hotel room just playing this game because I was so addicted to it. And it had me from the opening. Just when the opening song comes on and you meet the 4 main characters and the 4 bells toll and then the story breaks down. What's a great introduction to RPGs, I feel, is that game. You don't have to play the other Phantasy Star games to know the story, because it tells you with like Rune and the backstory here and there, but it's a whole different story. And it's the first game that the characters actually have personality. And you actually love, like, for me, Alice and Han's conversation with taking his money for his wedding. It's little things like that is just kind of cool.
And they all, like, go together, right? Like, they're actually, like, Fantasy 1, 2, 3, or Phantasy Star 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're all, like, the same story, right? It's not like Final Fantasy where, like, each is a different story, or are they, like, the same characters or in the same world?
3,
or
but I know 1, 2, and 4 are connected because of Dark Force. So there's a point when I won't spoil it, but when you get the sword, you'll see all the heroes from the games in that cutscene. And it's really cool because it ties it all together.
Oh, okay.
And it just makes, for me, I never played a Phantasy Star game until that one. Mm. But it made me want to play 2, even though I know 2 is a lot harder than 4. Mm. At least for me it was.
Yeah, I was in the same position where that was the first one I played. First and only one that I played, but I really, really liked that one, and it did like have a lasting effect on me. Like, I thought about it after I played it. I was like, man, that game was really cool. But I never returned to it. I only played it once, but it's definitely cool. Is your strategy guide still intact? I know you said you is that the one you drew on, or was it the instruction booklet?
Are.
Yeah,
there is wear and tear. I'll have to find it. I mean, I am moving, but when I do, I'll definitely tag you in it. It's still there. Some of the corners are torn up from years of cats and moving. But yeah, I still have it. I still have like what I wrote in the bosses section as a kid.
Oh,
this
nice.
one was tough.
Yeah, as I say, like this guy sucks.
He was healing a lot for the Lazaric Castle, because that was the worst boss, was the Lazaric. Because Dark Force was kind of easy compared to him, I felt.
I don't know. You can see what's on our camera, right, through the computer. This is my Final Fantasy strategy guide, and it's duct taped on the side because the spine broke. So this is the one. This is the one that I got when I was a kid. But yeah, I had to. It was like all falling apart. Like all the pages were falling apart. So So I just duct taped the spine of it, and it still kind of works. So yeah, there's so I know what you mean about the strategy guys falling apart and all that.
Yeah, the only two I still have is those two games. I know Final Fantasy III had 2 guides. An unofficial one that I bought first that was like this huge novel was like all the bosses and how to beat it, descriptions of it, and then an official one from Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I only have one of them though.
Did you?
Which one of them had the? Because one of them had told you about the vanish trick. You know what trick I'm talking about, where you use vanish and then you can use killing spells on anything.
Yeah, I think it was the unofficial one. I don't think the official one mentioned that.
Yeah, I think it was because
that was the one I had then. Because I didn't own it. I borrowed the game from a friend, but a friend was kind enough to also lend me the strategy guide. And I think, if I remember correctly, I borrowed the game first and then borrowed the guide later, and that's why I missed out on saving Shadow, which I still regret, obviously.
Well, Shadow was named after you, right? So it was like that was your character. Wasn't the Shadow named Jereme? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, in the new, and the one on Game Boy Advance, I have saved him. Well, I haven't reclaimed him yet, but I'm in the World of Ruin, and
gotcha.
I stopped playing a few months ago, but he's alive. He's just in the Coliseum waiting for me.
It's I noticed that like when he first, like when I was playing through it again when I was streaming it, that he'll stay with you a different amounts of time, because I went to the train level with him, like the ghost train and all that, and the first time he left like at the beginning, but then I died in that level and came back again with him, and he stayed through like the whole level, like all the way to the train. So I don't know how that works, but I guess I heard that like when you die, your like levels stay the same, right? So maybe because I was at a higher level, he stayed with me longer. But it seems to be kind of random at the beginning. I know in that part, it depends on who you choose first, because there's 3 scenarios. There's Terra and Bannon and Edgar, Saban and Locke. And depending on the choices you make of who you play first, he'll stay through the whole Phantom Train to the boss. Oh, okay. Because that was right. Yeah, that was right where I was. I think I stopped before the monk guy, which I don't remember his name. The guy who has the moves, the blitz and all that.
Sign.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh no, yeah, Saban.
Yeah, I think I stopped right before his story. Was where I was at.
Right, signs the knight.
Yeah.
The sword tech.
And then then Saban is the monk.
Okay. Yeah.
Who can forget suplexing the Phantom Train, right? If you had a chance to do that, I hope you do.
Right. Or if you could find Revivify, you could kill it in one thing. But I could never find a way to find that before you got to the
Phoenix Down will kill the train.
Oh, it will? Oh shit! Yeah.
It takes 2 hits, depending on if it misses. Like when I played again for the PlayStation, it took me 3 times to use a Phoenix Down, and it would just. It dies instantly.
Mm-hmm. I love how they fight that train and they're like running in front of it. It's like not possible, but they're like running to stay away from it because it's coming at them. It's great. Yeah, that whole part's amazing. But
and then the ghosts that randomly join your party or they fight you don't know.
Oh yeah, where they just kind of like hang out. It may not
be random, but it felt that way.
Yeah, they'll hang out with you, and if you look at the picture of them, they have like no face. It's just like blackness, like little eyes and all that. Yeah.
And then when Saban is eating the food in the train, everyone's watching him like, what are you doing?
Did you, when you played through it, did you like give them all different names or did you keep their names from the game?
I kept their names.
Because I didn't. I renamed everybody. That's why I have a hard time remembering like who's who. Because like I think Cyan, the knight, he was named the Tick. Because like all my characters were pretty much based off of they were just based off of comic book characters for the most part, so I always remember him. I was like, oh yeah, the Tick. That's what I called him. And I think like the ice guy that you find, the beast, he was called Wampa, of course, in Star Wars, and the guy who did the who could like mimic people, his name was Morph from X-Men, like stuff like that. I named them all. I was a huge comic book guy, so basically named them all after like comic book characters or wrestlers. So I'm always kind of confused as to who's who on that. I did that through like all of my early RPG stuff. I changed all the names, so I'd be like, who's that guy again? Because I can't remember. But hopefully this time around, I'll remember. I mean, I haven't ever since I've kept the names the same. But when you're younger, I always switch it up.
I think Chrono Trigger's the first one where I went nuts on naming everyone weird things. And there's 2 characters named Liver and Onions, I remember. That's what my dad thought I should name him. So for a long time, I thought of Ayla as Liver. And I can't remember who Onions was. I think Onions was someone I got. Is Ayla the last character you get? No, Onions was Magus, I think. Yeah. The last character you get was Onions.
That's awesome.
Ayla was, I called Ayla China, of course, from wrestling. So
okay.
That's her name.
I could see it, though, her being China.
I mean, she's a big, tough lady. You know, I figured it was fitting. I tried to make it somewhat like the character, even though I don't know how I got the tick for Cyan, but, you know, whatever.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. What's the next big RPG that you're planning on playing? I know you were talking about Ys 8, but is there another one on the horizon that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I want to stream Phoenix Star 4 when the Sega Collections comes out. Because that's the one game that I'll be a total happy fangirl playing and showing everyone why I love this game. And maybe The Last Guardian. I still have that. I have not played it yet. So I'm hoping to tackle that soon.
Mm-hmm.
I played that up to a point, and I just kind of lost interest. It was when I was like in the thick of playing Zelda, and I had also bought at the same time I bought Horizon Zero Dawn, and I bought Persona shortly thereafter. So I had all these games that I wanted to play, and ended up not playing any of them.
Yeah,
I'm the same way.
Yeah, I think I downloaded Journey and played all the way through that, but that's the only thing I've played all the way through on the PS4.
Well, that came short.
Yeah. Not much of an accomplishment there.
Hey, but you beat it. That's
I did.
Accomplishment.
It's in my trophy case. I can prove it.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that the Last Guardian's pretty difficult, or it's just kind of like the big beast like won't really. It's kind of like owning a pet, I guess, or like a pet that doesn't really listen to you. That's kind of what the game is.
So a cat, in a sense.
Sort of, yeah. It's like because you have that big dog thing that walks around, and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. I haven't actually played it yet, but it was on my list of stuff I wanted to try out.
It's very cat-dog-like.
Yeah.
Bird-like and dragon-like.
It's like sometimes it'll help you out, and sometimes it won't.
You have to feed it. So you have to feed it these like barrels of food. I think that's one of the things that I was starting to get a little like. It was getting a little monotonous for me.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if that's through the whole thing, but yeah, to progress, you'd have to find the barrels of food or whatever it is. It's something that to feed the thing to make it obey you. So it's like you got to find the treats, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And it just keeps going through the whole thing, so it can be kind of tedious.
And maybe I'm amplifying it. Maybe it was only a few times in a row, but I was just kind of like, oh man, not this again.
You probably have to like train it too, right? Like where you like. Treat it when it does something that you want it to do.
Raise money for obedience school at one point.
Really?
No.
That'd be hilarious if you did. I'm like, wow, this is intense. That doesn't sound fun at all. Then you're just like
without it for like a week. You got to find stuff to do while at school.
Yeah, there's a whole section where you don't have the dog. Sounds great. Number one. Did you ever? Side note, but did you ever play any of the Phantasy Star Online stuff on GameCube? Did you ever get into any of those?
I played Car Stories and PSO.
Did you have the modem, or did you just play it like straight up?
Straight up. Okay. I didn't have the modem, so I just played offline with Phoenix Star Online.
Is it worth getting? Like I never played it.
I think so. If you're a fan of online gaming, anyways, like Warcraft or EverQuest, Guild Wars, it's definitely, and you're a fan of Phoenix Star in general, it's a completely different like feeling. It's kind of like the newest Star Ocean, where it's more space base.
Oh, okay.
Where I know in the Dreamcast version, you had to find someone who is a hero who's missing, so you can create the characters like from the games and different classes, and you have like zones where you have to beat you can't like just escape. You have to, if there's like fences, you have to beat all the enemies. It's a fun game if you're a fan of the series.
Oh, okay.
I enjoyed it greatly.
And it's totally worth it without having the modem and playing online and all that.
Yeah, I never had any issue playing by myself.
Oh, okay.
I know I played online with the Dreamcast for PS. That's why I bought a Dreamcast to play that game.
Sure.
But with the GameCube version, the graphics are a little bit nicer and crisper, I found. And I didn't really care about playing alone because it was just really more smoother.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah, I have yet to talk to anybody who actually bought the modem for the GameCube, like the extra one that you had to put in the bottom of it.
My brother had it. He played it. I'd have to ask him about it. I remember him hooking it up and everything through the phone line. Because wasn't there 2 versions of the modem, a phone line and an Ethernet one?
I know there's a phone line. I don't know about the other one.
There might have been. I don't know. I think I only saw one in the wild like one time, and I thought about getting it, but I kind of wish I would have. I don't. Is it like expensive now? Have you looked at it? Looked at it on eBay? Like what? Like $100 or more?
It's one of the more rare GameCube games I know. Especially with the modem, you're going to be paying. I could look it up on eBay, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in the hundreds.
The Phantasy Star or the modem?
Well, the modem, but also the game's kind of expensive.
Yeah,
maybe not as.
Yeah, that's kind of a game that's been on my GameCube list for a while, and I was always afraid to get it without the modem. But now it's good to know that you don't necessarily need a modem for it. But if it's expensive, it'll probably be.
Oh, I guess the game's not that expensive. You can get it for like $30 or $40.
Oh, nice. That's not that bad.
That's
probably disc only too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's about how Skies of Arcadia was going. My fiance bought it for me for Christmas last year, so the Skies of Arcadia. So I was able to finally get into that again because I had
That's a good gift.
I had the game before and I lent it to Jereme and it got lost. So it's I didn't play it for a while, but it's it's an awesome game though. It ended up being like one of my favorite turn-based RPGs. So I still like it as much as I did when it came out. I wasn't sure like how I hadn't played the game for like probably like. I don't know, like 15 years, So like I thought maybe my opinion on it might have changed, or maybe it was just something I was really into when it came out because that was all that was out, and maybe it wasn't that good. Mm-hmm. But no, when I returned to it, I liked it as much as I did when I first played it. So it's a very easy. I mean, it's an easy RPG to play. Like it's like the story's like pretty understandable, and like it's really easy to find the next thing. Like you don't really get lost a whole lot, So I didn't find it all that difficult in that way, but it was really enjoyable to play through again. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, like, for me, the GameCube Skies of Arcadia is a lot better than the Dreamcast because they added the new characters, new backstory to different characters. The graphics were a little bit more cleaner than the Dreamcast, and I like that. Like in the Dreamcast version, when you're searching for the islands and looking for like hidden stuff, because that's how the game is played. You have to search for everything.
Yeah.
And the Dreamcast, I would spend hours just circling around trying to find where I had to go. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of at times frustrating to try to. There was no guide for it, so you just had to hope you're searching the right area was your ship. Oh, and the GameCube version, you had that little. Other pirate who was searching along with you to get the bounties. So it kind of added a nice, like, you have to find this first feeling. Mm-hmm. Was there no map or anything like that in the? I never played the Dreamcast version. I just played the GameCube one. There was a map, but basically it was just everything. When I remember, I haven't played the game in years. It was just you're just searching through the islands.
Yeah.
So that the map will never tell you where the thing was. I think you got coordinates. But I was always bad at following directions. Mm-hmm. So I would just spend searching that light on repeat until I would find where I had to go and be grateful to see if my game after that.
Oh, yeah. If you watched a couple of those videos that I did, there were ones, like I got stuck in, there was like a cave I got lost in for a while because everything kind of looks the same in it. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't tell what was the front and what was the end. And it turned out that I thought the end was the beginning, so that's why I kept getting stuck. And I finally got out of there. But yeah, some of it's really, really hard really easy to get stuck in. Like, especially like in the land of ice, like I got stuck there too, because everything's ice and you can't really tell. There's a place like buried under the ice that you have to land on. But if you don't know where it is, it's pretty hard to find because you can't see it really unless you're unless you're flying really close to the ice. There. Yeah. So I understand that for sure, like getting lost in there. But yeah, with the, I was going to say if the map wasn't there, it's definitely confusing. And in the GameCube one, I don't know if it did in the Dreamcast one, but whenever you're by a discovery, your compass starts spinning, so it'll tell you that there's something there. And then
I don't think the Dreamcast did that.
Yeah,
I can't remember. I know the VMU for the Dreamcast was Fina's little
Oh, okay. Yeah. The little
Whatever it's
creature. Yeah. Well, I know it eats chams, but I don't know what the actual thing is called. I mean, I just played through it, but I don't.
The chams would be on the VMU. So then when you find one, you'll see in the VMU on the controller the little thing eat it, and it's adorable. It'd be circling around. So when it was near a cham, or I think a discovery, you would see the VMU like act up, so you were close.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now the controller rumbles on the GameCube one, and it makes noises.
Does it connect to the Game Boy Advance? You can use that as a VMU.
No, on the Skies of Arcadia one, not that I know of. I don't think. I mean, it was a pretty early release on GameCube, so I don't think the Game Boy connector was out yet when it came out. But yeah, that VMU thing, they were all about like making it into. Could you like pull it out and make it like a separate Tamagotchi type thing on Dreamcast? Because I know you could do that with the Chows on Sonic, on like Sonic Adventure.
I don't think I ever tried that.
Because it had some, it had like its own like buttons on it, and you could like take it and batteries and stuff and take it around and do stuff. I don't think I ever did. I still have like a few VMUs that I found in the wild for cheap. Yeah.
I don't have a Dreamcast anymore, so just memories.
Oh.
But I know with the controller, it was cool because some would have the logo like with Grande 2, and others would have like in Skies of Arcadia a little mini game with that little creature weapon thing.
Mm-hmm. That's a shame that what happened to your Dreamcast?
Well, when I moved, I left my Saturn and Dreamcast at my mom's house because I didn't have enough space.
Oh, okay.
To bring everything with me. So when I went to visit her last year, I brought my Atari home and some games, and I left them there to go visit. My sister and her husband are moving back to my mom's house, and we're cleaning, and it got thrown out. Both systems.
Oh no. That sucks.
Oh, that's so gut wrenching.
Did you have were there games with it that got tossed too, or just the systems?
If there was any games, they'd probably toss.
Oh no.
I don't think. I know a lot of my collection got stolen when I moved from my previous roommate. Her and her boyfriend at the time and my sister's ex-boyfriend stole a bunch of my collection.
Oh no, that sucks.
And my Saturn wasn't working, but I was going to have someone see if they could fix the water damage from it. Because my mom's basement will flood occasionally, and it was on the floor, and it got ruined.
Oh, no.
But I'm just kind of bummed that I don't want to buy it again because it's way too expensive now. Mm-hmm. I have memories.
Yeah. Did you ever play the big one on there, the Panzer Dragoon Saga on Saturn?
No,
okay.
I never did. I played it for Xbox, Orta.
Oh, okay. Because like that's a lot of people have been talking about Panzer Dragoon Saga lately because I think it's like 20 years old.
Yeah,
and it's like one of the most sought after games, and
it's rare.
It's incredibly really expensive to get, and a lot of people
love
it.
I played a little bit of it. I had a friend who burned it for me because he had a copy of it. He burned a copy of it for me, and you could bypass the copyright protection pretty easy on
Dreamcast.
Or on the
Saturn. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I still have a Saturn, and I don't know if it works because I don't have the connections for it anymore. So I've been wanting to grab those cords and just see if it works. The only game I have is Knights, and I don't have a controller for some reason. I only have the console itself, but I do have it does have the RAM expansion, so that's good.
Well, that's cool.
If it works, then good. But I did open it up the other day just to look at it, and it's kind of dirty. I don't know if it's been damaged or if it's just naturally dirty, but it needs cleaned out.
Yeah, that'd be cool if you could get that to work, though. I mean, the Panzer Dragoon and whatnot. I don't know how much it costs to get extra cables and controllers and stuff for that.
I think it's all fairly cheap. I think I could get it up and running for less than $50. But as far as getting a hold of the games, I'm going to have to get shady with it and download them through.
Well, I mean,
it's torrent or something. Yeah. There's no way I'm getting a hold of Panzer Dragoon Saga otherwise.
No.
I mean, at this point, it's not like you're actually going to be able to give any money to the developers. So it's kind of like, emulate it or ROM it or whatever you have to.
But what I played of it, I really enjoyed. I do remember that, and it lets you customize your dragon, which is cool. I liked that a lot. You could change the way it looked, and it would camp out with you whenever you'd sleep.
Oh, that's cool.
That was nice.
I watched like when I was editing one of our last podcasts, I just watched some of it on YouTube, like muted, just to see what it looked like because I've never seen it before, and it's like. Looks completely different from what I thought it would look like. I don't know. I don't know what I guess I thought it would be more like traditional RPG, but it's like It's like 3D almost, like
it is.
But like sprite 3D. It's weird. It's kind of hard to explain the way the graphics look on it, but it looks definitely different.
Well, that's the way the first Panzer Dragoon games were too. So a little bit. So I think it just was emulating that style and then just adding RPG elements to it.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be one I'd really like to see. I mean, I'd love to see it remade, but people say that like they don't have any of the original material. Like whatever they built for it is like gone. Like all that stuff is gone. Like whatever they developed. And it would have to be like remade from a ROM or something, like if they were going to remake it. So,
it's a shame.
Yeah, it's crazy, like stuff like that. That's just like gone. It's completely gone. It's just sad to think of like in like the world of like game preservation and all that, where like some games are just disappeared. Especially like something like as big as that, and like apparently like people lost like marriages and their lives. Like one guy almost died, I guess, making it. Like it was incredibly intense, like development cycle, and now it's just not there. Yeah, yeah. From what I've heard, it was very intense development on that. But yeah, I would love to see that game come around.
They should write a book about that or something if they have it. That'd be really interesting.
They should. I want to read it. I never heard anything about this.
I didn't know.
There was a guy. There's a guy that wrote a book or something. He was on Axe of the Blood God, which is like one of my favorite RPG podcasts, and he came on and talked about all the stuff that went into development and like how crazy it was, and just the importance of the game and all that. I don't remember what episode it is, but I'm sure if you search like Panzer Dragoon Saga, you can find it.
Definitely want to know.
That's absolutely the Saturn game that I care about the most. That's the one I want to play.
Well, that was the one. I mean, that was the system seller, right? But by the time it came out, like the system was already done for it, pretty much. Like the Dreamcast was already out, so that's kind of why it became like so rare, because like not that many were produced, and then nobody bought it. Yeah. So it's like,
well, I don't think the Dreamcast was out yet, but the PlayStation was.
Oh, was it? Okay, because I know it was kind of like
the Saturn. Basically, the Saturn. The Saturn was supposed to come out on Saturn Day. They had a whole like marketing plan for it. It was going to come out on Saturday, and then the PlayStation came out, and then Sega was like, "Oh shit!" And so they released the Saturn early. Just kind of like dropped it out of the blue, like, "Oh hey, you can get the Saturn."
Yeah, because they didn't tell anybody, right?
I think that hurt them. Yeah.
Well, but from what I heard, by the time Panzer Dragoon came around, like they had abandoned the system, like Sega had. Like they were just like, "We're not making any more games on this anymore."
I remember I worked at the movie theater. It was my first job, so I would have been 15. And one of my coworkers was kind of a nerdy older high school guy, and he was talking to me about how he just imported a Saturn from Japan that would let him play Japanese games or something like that, or he was putting a chip. He was chip modding it. I don't know. It was really interesting. It was probably the first time I ever heard about someone doing that with a video game system. But I was like, well, I thought no one cared about the Saturn. And he's like, oh, well, they did in Japan. He kind of explained it to me, and that there's more happening across the pond.
Oh, of course, sure. Mm-hmm. Are there any like abandoned RPG series that you would love to see come back as a sequel?
Wild Arms.
Wild Arms.
Grandia.
Yeah. No, Wild
and
Arms.
Thousand Arms would be the three that Shining Force. I think those would be the four that I would love to see come back, because they're unique kind of RPGs. Like Thousand Arms is for PlayStation, and it's a RPG dating simulation, which was the first of its kind to come here. Mm-hmm. And Wild Arms is a Western RPG, so you have like Western like cowboy elements of the Wild West with magic and mecha, and it's really funny series.
Yeah, I played a little bit of the first one because Wild Arms was actually free for a minute there on PlayStation Network, like completely free, like not even with PlayStation Plus or whatever. And I downloaded it, like the original PlayStation game, and played it on the PSP. And that game's really cool. I would like to see that too. I think I played most of those except for, what was the dating simulator one again?
Thousand Arms.
Southern Arms?
Thousand
Arms? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I haven't heard of that one. How many did they make of that one? Was it just one?
Just one.
Oh, okay. In Shining Force, I played. That's another one that was on Virtual Console that I played. It's like Sega's version of. Like the Fire Emblem style playing and all that turn-based strategy, which was cool.
Because it's fun. And they're making a new game coming out this year for the Shining series.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. I don't know what it's called, but my friend on Twitter, Horror Gamer, mentioned it, so I pre-ordered it on Amazon. But they have Shining in the Darkness, which is more of a standard role-playing game. Mm-hmm. Then there's Shining Wisdom, which is like a Ys kind of action RPG.
Oh, okay.
And then there's Shining Force EXA for PS2 that is a action RPG, but you have 2 heroes that you can play as both times. So you have to level up your whole party. It's a little unique.
Okay.
It's a fun series. I love the game a lot. I'm excited to finally getting another game coming out.
Yeah, and that's for Steam or what systems is it coming out for?
I think it's Xbox One and PS4.
Oh, okay. No Switch getting the shaft on that one.
It might come to Switch.
Yeah, I haven't even heard or seen about it. I'd love to check that out. Yeah, I'm always interested because Sega has so many like abandoned series that are great. Like I know there's a there's a Phantasy Star Online type thing that you can get in Japan for Switch. Like there's a Phantasy Star Online 2 that has like a Link character in it, but it's only in Japan, and you can order it through the eShop. But there's too much text. Like I wouldn't be able to understand what was going on, but I was tempted to get it. But like stuff like that, I would love to see. Or like there's a guy that's been like liking my Skies of Arcadia stuff that has like a Skies of Arcadia HD like change.org thing or whatever that I signed. Oh
yeah.
I signed it for the fun of it, but it's like. It's not going to do anything. I mean, if Sega was going to make an HD version, they do it. It's not going to... I don't think they'll look at some online petition and be like, oh, yeah, we should make that. Or maybe. I don't know.
Well, but, Sega is bringing back Shenmue for PS4 because of the fan. So it'd be cool if they would bring back other titles for all systems.
Yeah. I would love to see a sequel to Skies of Arcadia, even though I don't really know where they would go from here. But because you pretty much explore the whole world. I mean, you're flying. I guess you could go to like a different planet or something.
Go to space.
Yeah, but that kind of takes away the whole like air pirate style of it. I guess unless they
prequel maybe.
Yeah, for like a Dine for like the Blue Rogues before Vice was around. That could be cool.
Or something. I don't know. It's like you said, once you beat it, there's really not much left to add to the story.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you do go to the moon, so you could go to like other planets, I guess, and explore around there. Maybe something else in there.
Oh, you go to the moon in Skies of Arcadia?
Yeah, you do. Mm-hmm. It's like one of the last things you do is to go to the Sylvite people. They're on the moon. And everything's upside down in the beginning, which is pretty cool.
It's like Final Fantasy 2 where you go to the moon. I guess you go to the moon in a lot of...
Is to say, you go to... and games in general, like even Blast Corps, like the last level was in the moon.
DuckTales.
And you go to... it's the moon is the place to go to. It's where you end all the good games.
6 gold coins, yeah.
Are there any old RPGs that like you that you like lost interest in or stopped playing that you'd love to go back to and finish?
Final Fantasy 4 would be one of them.
Oh, okay.
And I'm trying to think.
You didn't make it?
Probably 7 and 8, just to give them another shot. Cause I'm not a fan of either or.
You're not a fan of either?
No. I like 9.
No,
that's how I am. I played all the way through 9, and I've played through 4. But yes, both 7 and 8, I've bought them multiple times and said, hey, I got to get through these. Like, everyone says these games are great. I got to play through them so I can also say I've beat them. And yeah, I keep playing 7 and getting relatively far into it and then just losing interest. And then 8's got a whole like the whole magic system's kind of annoying in that. And it's really like turns me off pretty quick.
Yeah, I played through more of 8 than I thought I would, but I played through all of 7, and it was I didn't play it when it came out, so I have no like nostalgia for it or anything. And I honestly didn't think it was that great. Like when I beat the whole thing, I was like, it's fine. But I didn't think it was as good as 4 or 5 or 6. Final Fantasy. So.
Oh, you've played through 5?
I've played through most of 5.
I haven't played any of 5.
It was free on PlayStation Plus for a minute, so I played it on PSP. So,
but Final Fantasy 9 was fantastic, and I bought that recently for the PS4.
Same here.
And I've sunk some hours into it. I also bought 10. I haven't played all the way through that, but I've got 15 now, so I've got this backlog of Final Fantasy games myself.
Yeah.
Same here. I bought 7 for when it came out, and I got bored with it pretty after I got Vincent and Yuffie and all the characters, it just got so tedious and boring, so I stopped playing. Then I bought 8, and like you said, the magic system is just horrendous in 8. And it was really just, I want something simple. I like the graphics and from that time where you can see from the beginning and now. But 9, I played all the way through. My sister deleted my save data on the last boss.
Ouch.
But my roommate's a big fan of Final Fantasy 9, so he bought it, so I've been streaming that occasionally. It's just, to me, it's my favorite Final Fantasy game, next to 3 and 10.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I played 9 a little bit, but I didn't. I think by the time I got to it, I was kind of burned out, because I played through all of 7 and most of 8, and then I got to 9, and I'm like,
9, it's kind of funny, because 9 was like, we think of it as an old-ass game now, but that game in itself was a throwback game.
Yeah.
Because so many people were like, "Hey, come on, we're sick of this Neo Future." Well, I guess it's still Neo Future in the old ones, but yeah, we're sick of these games. Bring us back the magic.
I think they were
the animal people. I want Rat Boy.
Yeah, yeah, their characters look really weird in there. Yes, everybody has like a tail, whatever. I know the character from Dissidia because I played a lot of Dissidia on BSP. And the Rat Boy is in there, I think, or Monkey Boy or whatever he is, the main guy. But I think a lot of it was like all the protagonists were so like angry and like upset and like sad, like Cloud and what was it, the other guy's Squall? What was his name?
Yeah,
the guy from 8. they were all just
pretty broody name itself. Cloud. Wow, yeah.
Yeah, they were all like sad, but the guy from 9 was like more like was more like uplifting and more like positive than being like, ugh, I'm so sad.
Being a teen is hard.
Yeah, right.
I have to save the world and go through puberty. Damn it.
He has to carry that giant sword too. I'm sure it's heavy. And that hair, man, probably takes him a long time to get that right. All the different points and whatnot. Especially how pointy it was back then. Do you think Final Fantasy VII Remake will ever come out?
Like Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yeah.
Eventually.
It's kind of in the same world. Actually, I feel like it's less done than that, because hasn't there actually been footage of Kingdom Hearts 3?
I think it's coming out this year, actually, after 10 years.
Yeah. So that one actually seems a little bit closer, but Final Fantasy VII Remake, I don't think that's really happening. Unless there's going to be some big E3 thing. I don't know. Do
you think that the backlash from the fans has anything to do with it? Because they were like, because it was going to be episodic, right?
Yeah. It also looked like it was going to play like Final Fantasy 15, so I think a lot of people were mad about that. I was like, why? What? So it's not going to be turn-based anymore? What? You want to make a remake of a game that's not like the original game anymore? I just didn't understand, but I don't know. Yeah. Me
either. I haven't been following Final Fantasy VII Remake news because I'm not interested in it. I'm just not a big fan of Final Fantasy. I want a 6 remake, a 5 remake, a 2 remake. I want the older stuff to be remade.
Yeah. No, I would love to see
7.
Yeah, I would love to see 6 remade more than anything, because that's my favorite. 4 got a lot of remakes and stuff, but I'm surprised 5 and 6 didn't get any love. I figured that they were just going to go down the line and just, re-release those, but nope, didn't happen.
Well, they kind of did. I mean, 1 and 2 were on PS and then PSP.
Yeah, and Game Boy Advance also.
And I think also Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
For
Dawn of Souls.
Yeah.
And then 3 got the DS remake, so that's why I kind of thought that they were going to keep going from there.
They did a remake for 4 too on the DS, didn't they?
Yeah, yes. That's what I'm saying. 4 got a bunch of 4 got a sequel, got like a phone game sequel, which I played on the Virtual Console again, or on WiiWare, I guess. And there was also an HD sprite based one on PlayStation Portable, and there was also like a 3D one on DS. Like they did a bunch of stuff for 4, but then nothing for 5 and 6. That's why it's kind of like, what happened, guys? you just
dropped the ball.
Yeah.
I want 2 so bad because 2 is a really interesting story. It's hard. But because you have to decide what character you want to be, a sword fighter, magic, fight, use your fists, bow. And in this game in 2, when people die, they stay dead. Unlike in 4, where everyone comes back alive.
Yeah.
Well, I like 2. It's a much darker story of Final Fantasy.
Really? I hear a lot of people talk down on 2. Like they say,
I think it's just because they weren't expecting it to be so hard, and you have to work on the characters.
It's the one where you have to whatever you use, that levels up, right? And if you attack your own people, they get stronger, that type of thing. You have to get hit to. Yeah, I've heard a lot of bad talk on it. I played it a little bit on Game Boy Advance because I have the Dawn of Souls, but I had a hard time getting into it. But
you got to beat each other up to get stronger, pretty much.
I guess, yeah.
Well, that's the version of grinding, is just beating the shit out of each other.
Well, you can attack your own guys to strengthen yourself, right? Like I heard that you can do that on there.
I never tried that. I know when I first played 2, it was for PlayStation when it came as was 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I ever played it, and I hated it when I played it because it was just not what I was used to in playing a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
But when I went back to it recently for PSP, I kind of got into it more because the story's really great. It's just you have to have time, devote time to making sure that every character is leveled up appropriately to what you want the character to be.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want, one to be a fighter or just use their fists, it's just grinding and grinding. There's a lot more grinding than I ever did in a Final Fantasy game was in 2.
Yeah, because you got to use the fist over and over again if you want to be strong with it, pretty much.
Yep.
That's the idea. Is whatever you use, that's how you level up. So
it's like a job class system in a way for 3 and 5.
So it would be interesting to see that done in a more modern era in a way that it's less grindy, but still kind of the same idea. I would definitely like to see
That'd
that.
Be nice. It won't happen, but it'd be nice.
Yeah, I mean, Square's always been kind of weird about trying to figure out what their fans actually want. I mean, we got 3 Final Fantasy 13 games, which I didn't think anybody wanted, but I don't know. I mean, it's it took them a while to figure out that people wanted a Final Fantasy 7 remake, and then that one was different. It wasn't even really what they wanted, But have you ever played any of the Bravely Default stuff? Because I know that's kind of been selling enough for them to realize that people want that more traditional turn-based RPG stuff.
I had the first one. I only played a little bit of it, not enough.
Mm.
But it was what I remember, a throwback. So I really enjoyed it. I just haven't gone back to it.
The battle system is really, really good on it. I think that was the biggest strength because you can kind of like what you're saying with Final Fantasy or Phantasy Star 4. You can pick what your guys are going to do, and you can set that to happen every time you fight. And you can also speed it up 4 times, so the random battles go by super quickly. And you can completely turn them off too. If you're you won't get any experience points, but if you're stuck in a dungeon and you're about to die, you can there's a slider where you can turn down the intensity of the random battles, so you can turn it all to 0, so you can walk out and save and come back. So
that's cool.
They made it incredibly customizable. It's a big thing about it. So that's what I really liked. And I guess the same developers are working on Octopath Traveler. So, and there's kind of a similar play type with the defaulting and braving and all that stuff. So yeah, it was fun. I mean, I never beat the first one, but I did play it for a good amount. I'd like to go back and finish it at some point, and I think I played the demo for the second one. And that was it.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, but I think we're about to an hour in the interview, so I kind of was thinking about wrapping it up here. But we loved having you on. It was a lot of cool stuff. I see we have a lot of the same interests for RPGs and stuff like that. So it's always good to talk. I'm a huge fan of old RPGs, so I always love talking about it, the retro stuff and whatnot, especially the Sega stuff, because a lot of it ended up coming out for Nintendo, like I said. And the other, later, especially when the Dreamcast went down, they put a lot of stuff on GameCube. So that's good. But where can everybody find you on the internet?
On Twitter, it's Esperdreams. Same as my Twitch handle. Same as my blog, esperdreams.com.
Oh, okay, cool. And I saw you wrote your favorite Super Nintendo games and Genesis and NES stuff all this year. So there's some fairly recent stuff in there. And you're working on the new one, right? The one about
Depression and Gaming.
Cool. When do you think that one will be out?
I'm having some people review it because I'm nervous about putting it out there. So if once they get the okay, do it, then probably be next week.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, cool.
So I'll definitely put a link to that. Well, I'll put a link to your site on the description of this episode so people can find it. So yeah, Esper Dreams. Make sure and check it out.
It was
there.
fun talking with both of you.
Yeah. Thanks very much for coming on. And if maybe in the future, if you want to talk Ys 8 or something like that, you should come back, because I know that one's coming out next month. So or any other sort of RPG that you would like to come on and vent about. Let us know. Loved having you on.
Sure.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Pleasure.
All right. Cool.
All right,
well, have a good day, guys.
yeah, that was a super cool interview. I'm glad that we were able to have Kate on here to talk about RPGs and all that. That was a lot of fun.
Now I just want my Saturn to work.
Yeah, right.
I need to make it work.
Yeah. And that Shining Force game that she was talking about is actually coming to Switch. So there is a new Shining Force game in development for Switch right now. It's got a crazy name. It's called like Shining Residence Refrain. Is what it's called. So, but it is coming to Switch. It's coming out this year. It was actually announced in like February. So, and I completely missed out on that one. But yeah, so there is a Sega RPG coming out now. So that's cool. Hopefully, maybe we'll get a date at E3 or whatever. But and that's the song from that trailer. That's going to be my outro for this episode as well. But yeah, this has been Nintendomain episode 121. We're your hosts. I'm Trey Johnson.
Jereme Kowski.
John Litter.
And, you can find us at Nintendomain Podcast. You can find our YouTube at youtube.com/Fingmater, FINGMATR. You can find me streaming at twitch.tv/Nintendomain Podcast. Jeremy and I, we've been doing some two-player, same game, different places stuff like Splatoon and Aria of Sorrow and all that. You can find it. Come hang out, come lurk, all that fun stuff. You can email us at nintendomainpodcast@gmail.com. I do new Switch game streams every Thursday around like 3 o'clock Central, so you can catch that, check it out, and thanks for listening to us. If you get us on whatever your podcatcher of choice and give us a review and all that. We do use our blood, sweat, and tears to make these episodes, so let us know how you feel and all that, or send us an email or at me at Nintendomain at Ninten_domain or at Jeremy at JMaxStack on Twitter and let us know how you feel about stuff. Yep. Anyway, thanks for listening. We'll catch you next week.
Later.
See ya.
Nice ass, kitty.